have them send someone with more experience.
Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy, do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
They got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
Within the Lewis County.
Going on a week now, Judge. I have things out there that I have to do myself. I have my precious, valuable dogs. And I have my car, my only car. The other two cars were damaged by criminals. And
Are you saying if you've been in custody for a week, did you get transported down here?
Yeah, sir. I've been in custody now up until this hearing before you for 5 days.
Okay, so it's going to have to be another 2. Then your next court date will be Thursday at 1:30.
Good morning.
I've tried to explain to you why I'm doing this. I don't know how I can make that any more clear.
Good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. If you missed late last night, we went live with the bonus live stream last night, and it was the best. Apparently, it was the best. Look, even sample user admits it. It was the best. Yes, we did go live last night. Josh Hutchins found Mr. Farog. He's been missing for nearly 2 years. He's back in court yesterday. He'll be back in court again tomorrow. We're going to follow that as well. A big shout out to Kim R. Congratulations, Kim. You are, in fact, first in chat today. And as you have been many times before, you are the winner, or shall we say, the loser. We're going to punish you for your promptness and sentence you to internet ownership. Everything IP-related worldwide is now your responsibility until we go live again this afternoon. 22-month lunch break, hashtag. Yes, that's the thing, Judge. I can't get Stubby to work. I was looking for Stubby. I can't find... Where's the Stubby pencil thing? I'm going to get it. I'll get Stubby working. I thought I'd have it ready for today, but I just didn't pull it together in time. That's my fault. I apologize. But I was on time. Okay? Hey, how are you doing? Oh. My not adopted son has reminded me of something that I had forgotten.
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Hump Day! Welcome to Wednesday. I've been practicing. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 thumbs up. It's Hump Day. Best one yet. I guess we can end it on this one. It was 8. We got 8 thumbs up. Ouch, headphones, big no-no. I warned you last night. I warned those that were here last night. We're going to do a Hump Day yell. And I figure if I pitch it low enough, I can sustain for a while. And 16 out of 10. Good job. And I didn't choke. I've been practicing. Can you believe my TV went to weekly test just as the yell came out? Yeah, we all heard it. Schmoopy, we heard it. We all got the same test. Welcome. Best one yet. So it is Hump Day. We made it halfway through the work week. Sorry, I need to polish these glasses a little bit. Monster breath support. Well, I was in choir in 7th grade in junior high. And Miss Baker... I think it was Miss Baker. I'm not sure. I never knew if it was Mrs. or Miss Baker. And so I'd just be like, Baker. I like that, which probably was worse. But Miss or Ms. Baker, whichever one it is, taught us to breathe from our diaphragms. And that's basically where all my skill comes from. How does he do that? How does I do that? Welcome. Big dip happened in the live stream just a couple minutes ago. Not sure what happened. Probably an internet issue. Nothing related to the Hump Day. It was a Ma Baker. No, she was this tiny lady, and she could hold a note for like a minute and a half. She's like, here, she'd like at the end of her breath, she'd be giving this long sentence like, you don't need to have a huge breath before you sing. You know, you can do all these things. You know, you can, and then la, and then a minute later, she's still la, singing. She was amazing. I think she was a robot. Anyway, that's where I get my pipes from Miss Baker. All right. Good morning. Good morning. We are going to be going back to Courtroom 4 in Warren County here in a little bit. They have some stuff coming up. They've got something on the docket before this trial, or at least there was supposed to be. But I was watching this morning, and at like 8:10, the lights were still turned off and the room was closed. Do you see what I see? We have a court watcher today. Roman ADCC is going to be in court for us and hopefully be able to weigh in and tell us a little bit about the jury that we can't see from our live stream. We see everything else. Trust me, we see everything else. Let's see. Josh Hutchins has the birthdays. Wonderful. Let's get the birthdays celebrated appropriately. Can you explain the missing guy from last night? Was he a case we followed before? Yes, Nims Girl, he was. 22 months ago. And I think we actually followed him a little bit before then because he made a couple appearances. He was pro se. Oh, Judge is wearing black today, looking dapper. No robe needed. Anyway, we followed Mr. Farog, pro se, defendant extraordinaire.
Have him send someone with more experience.
Yes, that's Mr. Farog. That soundbite you've been hearing, the more experience, and when are we going to get lunch, Judge? That was Mr. Farog from his trial 22 months ago, which we were watching live. We're sitting there and we're gripped, we're just like, we're right there in the throes of it, right? As he's doing his pro se defense thing. And he's like, Judge, when are we going to go to lunch? Judge, when's lunch, Judge? It sounded something like this. Come on, don't fail me now. It sounded something like this. That was the cue. It's not triggering. Do I have to do this manually? Do I have to do everything myself? You guys did it great. I'm not sure why the program isn't working. He asked probably, 3 or 4 times. Let's see. Chatbot commands.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
There it is. Squirrel went over the top of it.
There's a lawsuit.
Let me find lunch again. Lunch. There it is. It sounds like this.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
That's him. And he's like, when are we going to break for lunch? Like he's hungry, right? He's like, I've just got a rumble in my tummy, a quick Sammy, maybe a PB&J, and I'll be good to go for the rest of court. The judge is like, all right, we'll take lunch now. And Mr. Frog says, great. And he grabs his stuff and he leaves, and he never comes back. He was the rest of the trial, he was found guilty in absentia. He was not there. He was not present for it. He was absent for his trial. And the judge obviously finds him guilty and is like, well, I've got to issue a warrant for his arrest. No walk. Basically, you pick him up, you bring him in.
In front of the Walmart.
Right? And 22 months later, he was picked up in another county, transported back down to Thurston, Washington, where the proceedings are going like this, and now he's kept in custody. So we watched last night his in-custody appearance before the judge, and the judge is like, what is this? It's a different judge. It's not the one who, Mr. Wool, who proceeded over the last case. But let's see, is our court watcher there? Let's see. Yes, she is. Back row on the left. I think so. We'll have to look again. Roman ADCC. I didn't get a picture, like a selfie. Sometimes I get a selfie from court watchers to say, hey, watch for this, or I'm wearing this, or I'll be doing the big dill dance, or whatever it is. Just whatever. I didn't get that today. But Ivan, howdy, Francis, especially nice to see you all today. Wasn't sure if that would be the case yesterday, but alas, 9 lives, Ivan. Chat's another day, Ivan. Wonderful. Great to have you here. Thank you, my friend. We need to talk. Praying for you, my friend. Hope everything goes well for you. The defendant looks like he doesn't have a care in the world. Oh, he's been chatting it up with court staff. He's just been kicking back and enjoying it. Okay, Josh has done the buffer a couple times, and I need to do this. Here we go. Let's before court starts, let's go ahead and celebrate the birthdays that need to be celebrated so the party can begin. Everybody join with me, like you did on the Hump Day yell. I know you wanted to. We're going to celebrate Alyssa J, Becky Guilford, Dale, Ezra, Janice, Jesse H, Lindsay, Lainey Sue, Sarah, and Tumwater Troy. Troy. Congratulations. I made the list finally. All year you've been waiting for this moment. We're going to celebrate their birthdays. Everyone stand up, take your breath, shoulders back. Just like in 7th grade choir, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with your neighbor. Warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. This might be a two-verser. I think we're going to go to Jesse H. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Alyssa J, Becky Gilbert, Dale, Ezra, Janice, and Jesse H. Happy birthday to you. Go shorty, it's your birthday. That's probably not the song I should be singing. Here we go, verse 2. Lindsay, Lady Sue, Sarah, and Tumwater Troy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Lindsay, Lady Sue, Sarah, and Tumwater Troy. Happy birthday to you. To everyone who is celebrating their birthday today or thereabouts, happy birthday. I realize there are many special days. Today is your special day. And there are a million places you could have been and a million people you could have celebrated with, but you chose to be here with us. The privilege, the pleasure, the honor, the joy is ours. Hopefully we can turn some of that joy back to you, make your day a little more specialer. Begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlop's House, Andy's Grill, Bob Evans, and Cracker Barrel. Waffle House slipped in there somehow. Not a sponsor. Hashtag not a sponsor. Maybe they're... We'll give them another chance to redeem themselves. All right. Happy birthday. Tammy Dunlop has the best pancakes, by the way. Just saying. Big stacks of flapjacks for y'all. I am super happy. It's not just because we found Farog. And by the way, you have to go back and watch it. If you missed it, you have to go back and watch Farog's hearing. It did not disappoint. He's like, Judge, I just need a little slack. You're not cutting me a little slack here. I just need a little more time. I operated in good faith. I came to court in good faith. Like, you walked out mid-trial. That's not good faith. All right, drum solo to finish. Here we go. I think the judge has Starbucks. Beautiful. I did the double crescendo, double crash on the right and a crash that time. Hope you don't mind. I was feeling it. Happy Monday. Let's go back to court just a little bit and see what's happening. It looks like our victim advocate is here. We've got defense attorneys in place, lead investigator just off screen. Everything's good. Defense is here. We see, I think our court watcher is just off camera. They're in the corner in the far right. You can't see. No, this shot doesn't show it. Our court watcher is not on camera yet. It's not that lady in the jacket with the texting. She is the victim advocate. But I came here for the Waffle House Rewards program. 2.0 Toys. I sent you a Twitter tweet. I sent you an X. I saw a product. I think it was like, I don't know, the girl who does the race. Oh, she's on the other side, I think. I think her court watcher's on the far other side. Anyway, I sent you a tweet because it has to do with little cars. I saw this really cool device, which is ridiculously expensive. It's like $300, but it's a desktop wind tunnel that sends like smoke through, and you set your little Hot Wheels cars in there and stuff, and you like blow the smoke, and you can see the air pattern. It's a wind tunnel for little cars, and I figured you probably already have one or two. I don't know. But if you don't, when does yours arrive? Because they're so cool. I might ask for it for Christmas. See if I can get a used one off eBay or something. But defendant's looking chipper today. Got any coupons for restaurants? I occasionally get like an ad on my phone for Subway. Does that count? I'm not sure if I can transfer that from my phone to someone else. Yes, saw that one, want one. Okay, I'm not alone. I'm pretty sure it was an ad that posted it. And I'm sorry, that ad works. Whoa, do you see what just happened? Do you see what just happened there? Do you see who just got up and walked out together? The attorneys all left together to confer. And the judge just walked in and he's like, where is everybody? Pops his head up like a gopher in the middle of a field. Everyone's missing. He can't believe it. So I walk in, they walk out. Where's the respect there? Whew. Guess I'll take a seat anyway. That ad worked. It's one of those shut up and take my money type ads. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I think I can classify this the Hot Wheels wind tunnel as a need, right? I probably couch this as a need. Needs being something that you need to survive, like food, shelter, and wind tunnels on your desk. Looks really cool. I want one. And if you get one before me, Phil, I'm jealous. I'm super jealous. All right. They're talking about the Mr. Farog video from last night. Ooh. I think they probably had a stipulation of some sort is what's happened. They're just talking something over. But all right, we're waiting. We're ready for audio. Judge, welcome us. Bring the jury. You will bring the jury.
If you will bring the jury.
Okay, we're waiting for the defendants. There we go. Sorry, not the defendants, but the victims. Hold the jury. Hold the jury. Wait. Judges, hold on. No, you're good. Sit down. Wait, go back out. You stay there. Judges directing traffic.
All right, we're on the record outside the presence of the jury, State versus Ogletree. Go ahead.
Your Honor, just to kind of let the court aware of some information. Last night, we became aware of this Javier person. We were able to locate who that person was, so we provided that information to Mr. Brenner. He is at Lebanon Correctional Institution.
Nice, we can bring him in.
So I think he could potentially be brought here today to testify if the defense so chooses. And if Mr. Brenner wants to have him come here, I made some calls to see if logistically that was possible and to see if we needed to start getting the groundwork going on that. And it sounds like it's my understanding that maybe they do want to go down that road.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this is a witness for the defense?
Correct, Your Honor. This is an individual, before we started day one, we spoke with the court about us not being able to find some people because we didn't know their government names. Okay. This is one of those, which the prosecution was kind enough to contact me last night.
What is the name?
Javier Lepur.
Javier.
Yes.
Spell the last name?
Llapur.
Like
A-P-U-R?
Lepur.
And he's at LCI?
Yes.
All right.
Sydney is starting to work on a transport order. Okay. So we can text her and send that to you for your signature, and then we can try to get the wheels in motion to make this happen to get him here.
At 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock?
Yes. Get it done.
Okay.
Judge,
thank you, Your Honor.
Judge says yes at 1 o'clock.
You don't need Jennifer to do the transport.
I'll have Sydney send it.
Working on it.
Yeah, I'll have Sydney. I'll send it to. I'll call.
Yeah, have him send it to Jennifer for signature. Pam's out.
Pam's out. Pam would normally sign, but Pam's not here today. Jennifer's going to sign. We're going to get Javier here. Javier Lepur in person, found from a video in jail.
You want to wait for her to come back in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably need co-counsel.
Well, I was quite ready.
Yeah, I didn't know who else to blame.
That's fine.
Didn't know who else to blame, so I blamed you. Judges, that's fine. That's fine.
I'd rather take the blame than blame it on Mr. Knipp.
Yeah, the judge wasn't ready.
How decent is that a prosecution? It's not a how decent thing. It was ordered by the judge. He said, you will. The judge actually told him, you will get this done at lunch yesterday. They found him last night, so they're actually late. So, yeah, props to the prosecution for finding him, but they're late. They were ordered to do it on lunch. Wow, 630 hump day. Woo! Let's see. I'm excited for today. I don't know which one he was. This is somebody that the defendant says, I want this person as a witness. They'd be able to testify for me. Clearly, he hasn't talked to him. This is going to be, this Javier Lepur is like, what? What happened? Who? I'm testifying for what? What's the question? He's going to walk into court and he's going to be like, oh, it's you. This is going to be wild moments. He's just sort of ripped out of... nobody's talked to him. The defense hasn't talked to him. Prosecution hasn't talked to him. It's going to be just Wild West courtroom antics here. Took 2 years to find Farog. Yes, that's true.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here promptly. I apologize for running just a couple of minutes late. It's always something that comes up that I have to kind of shuffle some things around, but I apologize. Everyone was able to follow my instructions overnight, correct? All right.
Shuffle some things, some inmates around.
I think,
I'm sorry.
we would Mr. Creech, Trooper Creech would retake the stand and cross.
Trooper, come on up.
Okay.
All right, if you remember, ladies, yesterday we were in the middle of the examination of Trooper Creech. We were getting ready to start cross-examination, and we took a couple witnesses out of order, so we are going to resume with Trooper Creech. Trooper Creech, you are still under oath.
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Trooper Creech. So you're the lead investigator on this case, right? And you had indicated, I believe, and I apologize because obviously it was yesterday, I believe you said that you had been in your current investigator role for 3 years.
Yes.
Okay. In that time, how many cases have you worked involving Lebanon CI?
100 maybe? 100, I don't know the exact number, but somewhere in that range.
So 100 over 3 years?
Give or take. It may be a little bit more.
Okay. So just doing kind of the ballpark math, it's fair to say you've got a case coming out of Lebanon CI every couple weeks?
Sure.
Okay.
It'd be close.
What kind of cases are you typically working?
Drug conveyance cases, assaults, felonious assaults, rape, homicide, all types.
How many homicides have you worked out of the prison?
Lead 1, but I've been assisted with 3 total.
Okay. So fair to say violence, including and up to homicide, is not all that uncommon occurrence at Lebanon Correctional?
It is not uncommon.
Okay. And you indicated that Officer Kerner at the facility assisted you guys with just kind of providing evidence, providing information, and then you guys kind of take over the investigation?
Correct.
Okay. How many troopers worked on the case?
Including myself, Trooper Klontz, Trooper Schuler, Matt Caldwell, and Sergeant Lonnie Butler, so it's 5 total.
Okay. And I know we saw some pictures earlier when Trooper Klontz was testifying. Who took those pictures?
Trooper Klontz.
Trooper Klontz, okay. Who all did you interview involved in this case?
I can't remember every person, but I interviewed obviously Mr. Ogletree, Mr. Cummings, Mr. Addison, Mr. James Davis, Billy Dodson, some of the staff. I can't remember every staff member that I interviewed. Mr. Dunlap, inmate Dunlap, inmate Savon Hall, which is Mr. Cummings' cellmate, Mr. Ogletree's cellmate, Mr. Clifford Johnson. I can't recall every person I interviewed right now without my notes in front of me.
Sure.
But
okay.
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Yes.
And fair to say, some of those individuals, nothing came out that was particularly useful for the investigation?
That's correct.
Okay. When we watch the surveillance,
that's the transport order. They're prepping right there in the background.
It appears to me
judge signs it.
That the cell where the incident took place is 2J3, right?
Yes.
There's someone standing in the doorway of 2J2 for the bulk of the video. Is that your recollection as well?
I'd have to look at the video, but there is people that are in that cell next door to it, yes.
Right.
And those individuals
he comes and goes a couple times, but he's basically standing in the door for several minutes minimum.
If I saw the individual, he might be someone I interviewed.
Okay.
Mr. Brenner, excuse me. Yep. Counsel approach.
Judge called a timeout really quickly. I think this is an issue we might be putting, we're putting timeout, which means we need to start counting timeouts again. We're at 20. We're going to move that to 21. 21 times judges put us in the corner, in the box. Mean judge. No, just kidding. This is how they maintain privacy during a sidebar. So The issue the judge is talking to them about most likely has to do with the transport order and some details regarding that. So shouldn't be very long, but private time, here we come. No one puts baby in the corner. Let's see. I really like this judge. I do as well. He's really growing on me. Let's see. What's wrong?
So as you sit there right now, you don't remember whether or not you interviewed the individual in 2J2?
With the individuals that were in the cell at 2J2?
Yes.
Yes, those were interviewed by Trooper Caldwell.
They were, okay.
Yes.
Now fair to say we see a fair number of people kind of passing by the cell in that surveillance footage during the time that Cummings, Ogletree, both are in the cell. Is that?
There's a couple hundred individuals on that cell block, so
Sure.
there's a lot of people that pass by.
Sure. Did you or anyone else affiliated with your investigation interview Javier Pure?
Interview him?
Yes.
I did not know that name until the other day when it was brought up to my attention.
Have.
So you were not familiar with that individual at all?
I was not familiar with that individual until Monday.
Okay. Are you aware of whether or not that's someone that's visible on the footage?
I cannot identify him in the footage 100%. I never spoke to him.
Okay.
I can show you who it is here. We're talking about this dude right here from the prison footage from yesterday.
Did you or anyone affiliated with your
watch the guy that comes out,
investigation
pokes his head out
become
right here.
aware of some
on the
hair
right-hand
or
side,
dreadlocks
right
that were in the
there,
cell?
steps out.
Yeah, it was brought to our attention upon review of a photo of Trooper Klonstedt.
Blue pants, white shirt.
Okay, so kind of after the fact.
On the right.
After the fact, yes, sir.
Do you know, was that hair recovered?
It was not.
Okay. Would that have been potentially useful evidence?
Could have been.
Okay. My understanding of you in the video, right, when I look at it, when Mr. Cummings, Mr. Ogletree first entered the cell, it looks like Cummings enters first. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and then Ogletree after?
Yes.
Okay. And obviously, I know you don't have a tape measure with you, right? But if you know, having done a fair number of cases in the prison, what are the dimensions of an average cell?
6 foot by 10 foot 4.
6 foot by 10 foot.
I believe it's 10 foot 4, the depth. The
Okay.
width is 6 feet.
Okay. So basically, 6 by 10.
Basically.
Okay. And so it's fair to say you got a bed in there, you got a toilet, you got a sink, it looked like in that cell there was a shelving unit.
There was.
So it's fair to say it's pretty tight in there.
It's small.
Did you or anyone affiliated with your department ever recover the mattress cover, sheets, blankets that were on the bottom rack in J2 or 2J3?
The ones that you could see Mr. Addison carrying out, or?
Yes, the ones that would have been on Mr. Addison's
The
bed.
only thing that we recovered that was from not inside that cell, outside that cell, was a shirt that was addressed to Mr. Weatherington, had his name on it, in the trash can on the second range. We never
Okay,
recovered that blanket.
so we don't know what happened to the sheets, bed covering.
We do not.
Okay. And you indicated that you were one of the individuals that was present for the interview, Mr. Ogletree.
I was one of the individuals present, yes.
And I believe you specifically, or either you or your...
It was my sergeant, I believe.
Sergeant, asked him about the scratch on his hand.
Yes.
Okay. Am I correct in remembering that you guys talked about how it looked like it was almost healed?
He had said that it was almost healed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it bleeding? Was there...
It was not bleeding at the time,
Okay.
no.
Was there a fresh scab on it or anything like that?
I don't recall exactly how it looked at that point.
Okay. Was there ever any kind of weapon recovered?
No, sir.
So we saw, both in the autopsy and in the photos, there's a couple of gashes on the side of Mr. Wetherington's head.
Yes.
Were you or anyone in your department able to determine how those gashes got there?
We could not 100% say how they were, like if it was a weapon used or hands, fist. We can tell you.
Did Mr. Ogletree have broken bones in his hands?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Bruising on his hands?
Other than the cut on his hand, that's the only thing we observed.
Okay. I want to switch gears a little bit. In your investigations in the prison, you're familiar with tune.
I am.
And my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is that tune can be any number of things.
It could be all types of drugs.
Okay. But it's something, fair to say, in the prison, supply and demand, right?
Just like anything, yes.
Right. People want to get high, they're going to use what they can to get high.
It's fair to say.
Right? And kind of limited availability. It's not like you can go down the street and buy beer or whatever.
Right.
Right. So tune can be any number of things.
Could be.
Okay. What are some of the things in your experience and investigations that you have seen being described as tune?
It could be synthetic cannabinoids. It could be fentanyl. It could be as simple as bug spray.
So it could be any number of things.
Any number of things.
Okay.
That's got to be terrible.
But that is something that you've encountered previously.
Yes.
Okay. So, given that Mr. Addison, right, disposed of potentially relevant evidence in the case, right, that you guys were never able to recover.
Yes.
Right, why was he not treated as a suspect?
I submitted the case to the prosecutor's office, and the charges are decided from that point.
Okay. So the charging decision wasn't up to you?
I don't make that decision.
Understood. And none of the individuals, and I guess other than the witnesses that we had here today, the individuals in 2J2, right, some of the other individuals that were walking past the cell that you would have interviewed, and did they give you any indication of what they knew or what they heard that was going on in the cell next door?
Other than Mr. Akeem, he said that, he walked by the cell and he saw what happened.
So he's the only one?
He's the only one that gave me was able to identify that there was a fight and identified Mr. Ogletree and Mr. Cummings and Mr. Wetherington in the cell.
Okay. In your experience with investigating prisons at LCI, and there's another prison in Warren County too, right?
Yes.
So, fair to say, LCI is not the only prison that you've been involved in investigations in?
That's correct.
Okay. In your experience in investigating, felony crimes in multiple prisons, right? Do inmates tend to be cooperative?
Well, for me, a lot of them actually are cooperative with me. I do get a lot of statements from inmates. Now, is everything the truth always? That's up for debate, but I get a lot of people to talk to me. It happens all the time.
Okay. And are you familiar with gang activity in the prisons?
Yes. Of course.
Yeah. And does that lead to violence?
It can.
Yeah. Are there, to your understanding, right, are there kind of unwritten rules or prohibitions about snitching?
There's a culture of snitching for sure that it's frowned upon.
Right. And there could be repercussions.
There can be.
Right. So the footage of the block that we saw, right? You indicated that you reviewed all of it.
I did.
Did you review earlier in the day?
Before 4 p.m.?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you review, so you started at 4 p.m. on December the 6th?
Roughly, it was like 4:07 to be exact,
Okay.
I think is the time.
But you did not go back further?
I did not.
Did anyone in your department review earlier than that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. So when Mr. Ogletree said that he was in there at lunchtime smoking, did anyone go and check that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did you ever get any kind of indication that Mr. Ogletree and Mr. Wetherington knew each other?
No, that I never saw them, or I don't know of them being friends or anything. No.
Okay. Or did they, I mean, did you know of them having any animosity either?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's, I don't know if you recall, right, but right around 7 o'clock p.m. on the surveillance footage that we reviewed, we see Mr. Ogletree walk right past Mr. Wetherington while Mr. Wetherington's standing in the door to his cell and go down towards his cell. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Do they share any words that you can see or?
No.
And during the scope of your investigation, right, did you discover whether Mr. Addison ever reported what happened to COs?
He did not.
He did. Somebody else did, right?
Yes, I believe inmate Glenn.
Okay.
They're almost doing a third-party culprit thing with Mr. Addison here.
And my understanding of the video, my understanding of prison procedure, is that basically, I mean, he just kind of goes like, hey, we need help up here, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, I believe they were down at the desk, I believe, when I interviewed them, and he was up on the second range, got their attention, said that you need to check on Mr. Wetherington in the cell.
Right, but I guess it's not exactly some kind of complicated endeavor to get the assistance of a CO.
No.
Right, you just kind of get their attention and they
Sure.
come on over.
Yep.
Right, okay. And fair to say Mr. Addison never did that.
He did not.
And fair to say throughout the night, and in fact the following morning, COs are walking past the cell regularly.
They were.
Right. In fact, the morning before, Mr. Glenn alerts COs, right, there's a CO walking up and down the range, and Mr. Addison never said, hey, I need some help.
He did not.
Were you ever, through the course of your investigation, able to verify when the injuries took place?
To verify?
Yeah.
Well, the last time he would see Mr. Wetherington and is between, I believe it's 7:04 p.m., never exits the cell.
Sure.
And when Mr. Ogletree and Mr. Cummings leave, Mr. Ogletree's covered in blood on his pants, and Mr. Ogletree and Mr. Cummings had told me that assault occurred during that time,
Sure.
why they were in the cell.
Did you have any indication over whether a subsequent assault took place?
Explain that again.
Well, so you indicated, I mean, we never see Mr. Wetherington outside of his cell after about 7:04 p.m.
Yes.
Right? There are other, I mean, Mr. Cummings goes back in the cell later on, right around 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Mr. Addison's in the cell all night. Right? Do we know what took place subsequent to that initial incident?
What took place after they left the cell?
Yeah.
Oh, other than what Mr. Addison said, and that he had, Him and Mr. Cummings had moved him to the top rack, other than their testimony and what their interviews told me. But Mr. Cummings and Mr. Addison both said that they admitted him moving Mr. Wetherington from the floor to the top rack.
And fair to say, I mean, my understanding of the evidence, when we watch the video, you know, we go through what's been provided, right? It looks like Mr. Cummings, the blood is on Mr. Ogletree's pants from like knee level down, right?
Yes.
Did you obtain the other clothes that he was wearing?
We did.
Was there blood anywhere else on him?
There's blood on his shirt.
On his shirt?
On his shirt.
Where was it?
In the trash can.
No, where was the blood located on the shirt?
I'd have to look at the picture. I couldn't remember exactly.
I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. It was on the other guy's shirt.
I believe you indicated, I mean, you responded that morning of December 7th, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. What time did you guys get there?
Just after 8 a.m.
Okay, so at that point, when you guys respond, right, are they still attempting to undergo life-saving?
No, I believe I testified yesterday that Mr. Girdman and Mr. Dodson, the paramedics, we met them outside, and they told me they'd already pronounced him deceased.
Okay.
When we arrived there, he was already moved to the infirmary.
Okay. So you get there, you guys do you guys tape off the cell, or did staff
already taped off.
Already taped off, okay. So then you guys start to look at everything that's inside of the cell.
Yes, Trooper Klons. I videotaped it, which I believe you watched, and then Trooper Klons photographed everything, and then I collected the evidence that he called out when we, after photographed, we collected that.
What efforts did you or anyone, I mean, I know we indicated that nothing was ever recovered as far as Mr. Addison's bedding or whatever else he might have disposed of, right? What efforts did you, your agency, make to try to recover that stuff?
We searched the other cells. We searched the trash can there, but we had no clue from that point on where it went.
Okay. Was there an effort to search any trash cans outside of that cell block, like near the...
There was nothing else found.
Okay.
Was there an effort to search?
Could I have just a moment? Your Honor? Trooper Creech, you had mentioned there being a shirt of Mr. Ogletree's.
I believe a sweatshirt was collected.
Okay. Was that submitted into evidence earlier?
It was not submitted. I submitted it as evidence to our case.
Okay.
But I don't have it with me now.
Okay. And my recollection, right, is that we have a shirt of Mr. Cummings's with.
Yes.
I don't recall seeing a shirt of Mr. Ogletree's.
No, we collected, well, Trooper Klons collected it.
Okay.
Where is it? You've got a shirt with blood on it, and it's not provided as evidence?
And as you indicated, right, tune can be anything, right? Any number of things, right? So when we say, right, that there was no positive test for any kind of illegal substance, right, given that we could be talking about bug spray, is it fair to say, how do you test for bug spray?
I can't say that. I'm not a scientist, or I can't.
Understood.
Say, yeah, I don't know how they would test for it.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
I mean, given that it could be any number of substances, right? Obviously, as you just indicated, you're not a scientist, you're not a toxicologist, right? But in your experience, if you don't know what you're testing for, is it fair to say that it could be difficult for that to pick up on a test?
It could be.
Shush.
And
shush, prosecutors.
Did you ever, you or anyone else in your department, recover any property of Mr. Wetherington's from Mr. Ogletree?
You guys just opening all the evidence bags?
So,
what are you doing?
We see Mr. Cummings leave Mr. Wetherington's cell with a bag.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. Mr. Wicker testified that he was given something out of that bag. Right. Did you ever recover anything from Mr. Ogletree or Mr. Ogletree's cell?
Of that bag?
Yes.
From that bag, no.
Or anything that belonged to Mr. Wetherington?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. And it's fair to say, I mean, we see in the video, right, after Cummings and Ogletree leave Mr. Wetherington's cell, right, we see Mr. Ogletree out on the range, right?
We do.
Right. So I guess what I'm asking, it's not like he just went back to his cell and never left again.
No, he was out on the range.
Right, he's out on the range, he's talking to people, it looks like he goes down to the showers.
Yes.
Right. Could I have just a moment? Yeah.
Mr. Ogletree has figured out the mute button.
Trooper Creech, so I know you talked a little bit, you've had some experience investigating drug cases at the prison, right? You're at least somewhat familiar with tunes. Mr. Ogletree in his statement repeatedly referred to epping.
Yes.
What is that? What does that mean?
Like having like a weird reaction, adverse reaction, somebody like falling all over themselves, or that's what was explained to me.
Okay. I mean, have you ever seen that in one of your cases or anything?
I've seen some video of people doing weird things from smoking tune, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't have any further questions.
Hey, redirect.
If we could have just 1 second.
They may have to clarify the shirt issue. It is the prosecution's responsibility if one of their witnesses testifies falsely to set their record straight. So if they get up and immediately start talking about the shirt that has blood on it, we'll know that the testimony heard may not have been accurate. Everybody's strategizing right here. Prosecution does look worried. They've been scrambling looking for something. This is interesting. Do we need to give the jury a break? Okay, it's getting awkward now. Prosecution. Judge clears his throat. Not because he needs to, because he wants some motion here. What's going on? Prosecution checks over the shoulders, see if the judge is mad. Passes a note to their assistant. Go look for something really quickly.
Mr. Brenner talked to you about the number of people you talked to, inmates are cooperative. Isn't it true you talked to a lot, there were a lot of inmates interviewed in this case?
There were.
And the majority of those inmates were pretty cooperative.
They were.
They're maybe not giving you their whole life story, but they're providing you some details.
That's correct.
In your experience, is there a difference, even within the snitching culture that exists within the prison, a difference in speaking to you in your capacity than coming and sitting on a witness stand?
Oh, yes, definitely.
When you speak with inmates at the institution, where are those interviews conducted?
They're conducted at the prison.
But do you walk into an inmate's cell and have a conversation with them?
Usually not in their cell, but sometimes like in the cell block for sure.
Is that always visible to other inmates?
It can be.
Do you sometimes try to talk to inmates outside of the presence of other inmates?
Yes.
To get their cooperation?
Yes.
But in your experience, is coming and sitting in a witness stand and testifying in court significantly different than speaking to you as part of your investigation?
Yes.
There are different consequences for different levels of snitching.
Sure. Yes.
In your capacity as a trooper with the Office of Investigations and all of the investigations you've conducted within the prisons, are you aware of fights that have occurred in cells involving more than 2 people?
Yes.
Involving more than 3 people?
Yes.
Is that common?
Happens a lot.
Yes, happens a lot.
Because there are COs out on walking the ranges, correct?
There are.
There are always COs in the cell.
There are always.
She does feel like she's stalling.
2 inmates are to get into a fight, or 3 inmates, or 4 inmates, on the walkway outside the cells. Is it fair to say that's going to be discovered quicker?
Yes.
But if a fight happens in a cell,
it's more private.
In fact, in your experience, do inmates try to do things in cells to keep them outside of the view of the guards?
Yes.
Now, you testified that aside from the cut on Mr. Ogletree's hand, you observed no other injuries on him.
That's correct.
When you spoke with Mr. Cummings, did you observe any injuries on him?
No.
Did you look at his hands, body? He had no injuries either.
No.
When you met with Mr. Addison, did you see if he had any injuries?
Yes.
Did he have any injuries?
No.
So why do you know? Why could this not be?
And based on your investigation,
Epping.
did you have any reason to believe that Jason Addison was involved in any physical altercation with Marquise Weatherington?
We had no reason to believe that.
And in fact, you can confirm on video that he does not re-enter the cell until about 7:57.
Give or take, yes.
Give or take.
Yes.
And you're able to review his phone call that we heard yesterday, which was made at 8:07 p.m.
Yes.
And was that phone call and what he reports to his girlfriend about what he just observed, was that consistent with when he spoke with you about?
It was.
Change of shift. Bailiff rotates out.
And Mr. Brenner had asked you if you reviewed footage from prior to 4 p.m.
Yes.
to try to confirm Mr. Ogletree's statement that he went in there and smoked tune at lunch.
Yes.
But at the time Mr. Ogletree made that statement to Trooper Klontz, he also said he never went back in the cell.
That's correct.
And were you able to confirm that was not accurate based on the video review?
I was.
And Mr. Brenner pointed out that Jason Addison did not get Mr. Weatherington help. You would agree that that is accurate?
That is accurate.
Guards were walking by. He could have flagged anybody.
He could have.
Did Mr. Ogletree ever get Mr. Weatherington help?
No.
I mean, he certainly expressed concern to you in the interview that he was epping out of his mind, right?
He did.
But he never got him any help?
No.
He told you that he was the victim of physical assault. Mr. Weatherington was the victim of physical assault. Mr. Ogletree told you that in his interview.
He told me that him and Cummings were fighting.
But he never got Mr. Weatherington help as a result of that fight that he observed.
No.
I want to talk about the evidence you collected a little bit. You collected approximately 58 pieces of evidence in this case, is that correct?
I did.
And that includes recordings, buccal swabs, swabbings you took from inside the cell, and a lot of clothing recovered from Marquise Weatherington, Jason Addison, Anthony Cummings, and James Ogletree.
Yes.
Is there a limit to the number of items that you are allowed to submit to the Bureau of Criminal Investigations for DNA testing?
There is.
What is that limit?
I don't recall the number off the top of my head.
Is it less than 10?
I believe it is.
Items of evidence?
Yes.
Not maybe including the standards if you're
Right.
got people to
the
compare.
standards are not counted.
Okay, but items of evidence.
Yes.
So if you're, you think you collect a shirt and pants and socks and shoes from 4 individuals, you're already well over your limit.
That's correct.
So how do you go about determining what you submit?
Speak with the prosecutor's office, and a decision is made that way.
And so is it fair to say that you try to take something that has a lot of staining, or you choose the best pieces that you can?
Choose the best piece that would give us the most evidence on that piece of evidence.
And so in the case of Mr. Ogletree, with the clothing you took from Mr. Ogletree, you decided to submit the pants that can be seen on video with staining.
Sure.
And you submitted those to BCI.
I did.
And you took a sweatshirt that Mr. Cummings was wearing that can be observed that he's wearing on video, correct?
Yes.
But fair to say you collected pieces of clothing from both of those, other pieces of clothing from both of those individuals.
We did.
And the clothing you collected from Mr. Addison, did it have any staining on it?
No.
Happy birthday, Mark. Congratulations, OG, Mrs. McGuire. Fantasy husband's birthday today, Mr. Mark McGuire. He doesn't know he's married, apparently. So, late edition, were these disclosed? I'm pretty sure they were, right? He's still marking them. Here, see if there's an objection here, because printed these pictures really quickly of the sweater.
I'm going to approach and show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 96 through 105. May I approach her?
Yes.
You announce your approach and then ask permission.
Look through those and see if you recognize what's depicted in those pictures.
Yes, this is the shirt I spoke of earlier that was collected from Mr. Ogletree's cell.
And where was that shirt when you located it?
I did not locate this. Trooper Klontz did. I believe he testified it was in the trash can above the thermal pants. Yes.
And so we saw those pictures that Trooper Klontz testified to yesterday of the items in and around the trash can.
Yes.
That would have been this sweatshirt.
Yes.
And you were present when these items were photographed and processed at the Ohio State Highway Patrol.
I was.
And are these fair and accurate representations of that sweatshirt?
They are.
I think
putting State's Exhibit 96 on the stand.
Defense would have objected if it wasn't disclosed, and they didn't object.
I know it's a little hard with the glare. Can you indicate where you observed staining present on that?
I believe it's kind of right here. It's hard to see in this picture, to be honest. And on my screen. In the picture, you can see it a little better.
Right. The picture is a little better, but the glare of this makes it.
Judge, can we see?
I believe there's some on the sleeve there, too.
And so you just pointed to the sleeve. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 98.
Yes.
Can you indicate on your screen where?
It's kind of like right in here.
We can't see. Judge, you got to click the button. It's not clicking.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 102.
You see our
see it's a little bit of a reflection of the glass
paper.
back there.
And what's the purpose in you using a measuring?
Just to kind of show the size and scale of the staining that we see.
Okay. And lastly, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 105.
It's just an overall of it. You can kind of see, again, my screen is not that great for this, but you can see here those darker areas.
But there appears to be large areas of staining on the top of that sweatshirt.
Yes.
But again, you would agree this item was not submitted to BCI.
It was not.
But Mr. Ogletree's pants were.
They were.
The pants that we can see the staining on.
Yes.
If I could have just 1 second, Your Honor.
She was totally stalling
I have
for those
nothing
pictures to be
Hey,
available.
Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor.
As soon as the pictures came in and they were marked, she's jumped right to the shirt topic.
Trooper Creech, you indicated that you did not locate any items of Mr. Addison's that had blood on them.
I did not, no.
Or anyone with your department.
No, sir.
It's fair to say there are items that were disposed of and you guys never found, right?
I mean, I don't know. No one told me that. I mean, other
Okay.
than him saying that he threw the blanket in the trash can.
Sure. We see him on the video leaving the cell with a bag, right?
Who?
Mr. Addison.
I don't think you saw him leave him with a bag. Some
Don't
clothes.
we, after he and Cummings are in the cell together, we see him?
You saw Mr. Cummings leave with the bag, not Mr.
Well,
Addison.
My understanding, and I'll review the footage to be sure.
Okay.
Was that around 7 p.m. when Mr. Cummings and Mr. Ogletree were in the cell with Mr. Weatherington, we do see Cummings leave the cell with a bag.
Yes.
Later on, Cummings and Addison return to the cell.
Yes.
And then we see Addison leaving with what looks like a laundry bag.
Not a laundry bag, sir, no.
Okay.
Maybe it's like a blanket, maybe, or some clothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when we say, ultimately, right, that there was nothing recovered from Addison that had blood on it, right?
Yes.
We didn't recover everything that was Addison's property in that cell.
I didn't recover anything that was his that had blood on it, no, sir.
Well, it's fair to say he disposed of some items that we never found.
He disposed of that blanket, he told me, but I don't know of anything else.
Okay. I mean, it looked like, and you were in the cell, right? But I didn't see a sheet on his mattress.
No.
So we don't know where that is.
We do not.
There's no pillows.
We do not see any sheet or pillow on that bed.
Right, and so we don't know. All that stuff is gone.
It is.
Right, so we don't know where it went.
We do not.
Okay. You indicated that you didn't observe any injuries on Mr. Cummings?
I didn't see any injuries on him.
Did you interview him?
I did.
Did you look at his hair?
We looked at his head. I didn't see any injuries to him at all. His hands or face or anything.
Mr. Brenner, would you please identify those?
Apologies, Your Honor. We'll call this Defense Exhibit 1 and 2. Trooper Creech, have you seen this image before?
Yes, that was the one that showed yesterday when Trooper Collins was.
Okay, and so it's one of the photographs of the cell. Is that right?
Yes.
What's your understanding of what this item is here?
What number did you identify this as?
This is Defense Exhibit 1.
We'll call this Defense Exhibit A.
A. Apologies, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Defense gets
which
letters.
item are you pointing to again, sir?
Down in the bottom corner here.
That appears to be the lock of hair we discussed earlier.
Okay. Do you have any indication of whose hair that is?
Can identify who it came from? No.
And couldn't identify because
we didn't collect it.
Didn't collect it, right?
That's
So
right.
it never was able to be sent off for testing.
Right, that's correct.
Right. Fair to say, I mean, Mr. Cummings had dreadlocks?
He did.
Mr. Weatherington had dreadlocks?
He did.
Right. Mr. Ogletree had dreadlocks?
He did.
Right. Do you recall, when I look at the surveillance footage, when I look at images from that time, right, it appears that Mr. Ogletree's dreads are long and thin. Is that kind of your recollection?
I mean, they're long. I can't describe.
Mr. Cummings kind of has chunkier, thicker dreadlocks, based on the image that we saw earlier. Is that your recollection?
I mean, they all had dreads. Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll call this Defense B, Your Honor.
Thank you.
And this is kind of a zoomed out footage, or zoomed out view of the same corner, right? And so we see this kind of lock of hair here.
Yep. The same one.
Okay, and then this is blood here.
Yes.
Okay. And it just looks like kind of miscellaneous papers and that kind of thing. Okay. But again, nobody from your agency collected or had this hair tested in any way?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So it's fair to say we don't know whose dread that is.
It is fair to say that.
Okay. And was that just an oversight or?
Just an oversight. There was no purpose of why it was not.
Okay.
When you own and control the crime scene, you've got to do a better job.
And you indicated that
investigating
the decision of what to submit to BCI for testing is made in consultation between your agency and the prosecutor's office?
Yes.
Okay. And so you said that you don't know exactly what the limit is?
I couldn't recall that number.
Yeah.
It's been told to me, but I just couldn't remember it.
Understood. What ultimately was submitted?
I'd have to look at the sheet to see everything. I would probably misspeak if I didn't have that in front of me.
Understood.
Well, would you like to refresh your recollection? Look at the sheet. No, you don't want to go over the evidence.
You indicated, Ms. Nicholson asked you, that you said the majority were pretty cooperative, majority of inmates.
Yes.
Okay. When you say cooperative, you mean that they told you something, right?
They sat down and gave an interview.
Right. It doesn't necessarily mean they're telling the truth. It just means they're giving the interview.
That's correct.
Okay. Did you conduct the interview of Mr. Cummings?
Myself and Sergeant Butler, the second interview, not the first.
And again, let's strike that, Your Honor, just a second.
This is the submission.
Your Honor, no further questions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you have any questions for Trooper Creech, please reduce them to writing. Do not discuss or display any proposed questions with any other member of the jury.
All right, back to our private time. I'm beginning to enjoy these little breaks. Nice and quiet, nice and peaceful. The way this court works, every juror is able to ask questions, and even if the juror does not have a question, every juror is instructed to turn in a card. It's basically to hide or to anonymize the questions so that nobody can say, oh, that juror has been asking questions. The cards are not supposed to have any indication of which juror is submitting it. So let's see. Jury questions are always great. This is an incredible jury. Not that they're perfect. They're chasing rabbits they shouldn't be chasing in this trial. I'll admit to that first and foremost. But they have a great investigative mind, almost like they've followed true crime and watched other cases, or maybe even worked on other cases. Yes, we get to do a recap during private time. The longer the private time is, generally the more questions that were submitted, not necessarily the more that get asked. A lot of them are duplicate questions. A lot of these jurors ask the same question or have the same thing on their mind, realize they're not talking to each other, and then one person saying, I'll ask that question. Each person individually writes the questions they have. Paula Mack, I need to do that. I don't know if I own anything to measure that with. Let me see if my daughter has it. I think we have one. I'll let you know. Juries are always curious about prison life. Yes, we were curious, and we got to watch video yesterday. Some pretty lengthy, high-resolution video. I mean, it looks like this. We got to watch life as it happened in the prison, which was pretty interesting to see. Also, Ivan, I'm not sure if this is just my bias showing or what, but it looks like everybody's hiding something. Like everybody has a mission they're on, right? And it's them versus the guards, and everybody is playing a game of cat and mouse. Maybe I'm just looking for something when it doesn't exist. Maybe that's just this is how life is. You just watch your back and try not to step on toes, or guard your space, whatever it is. But it looks, everyone's hiding something. Everyone looks suspicious. Thank you. Can you measure the puppy's neck size for a collar? Okay. Measure the space around the collar and tell me how big it is. Because they are. We've got a cloth tape measure. We're doing it. Yeah, the thing is I don't have anything to measure the cable with. Okay, let's see. We need to start at the other side. That's the big side. It's not 54 inches. Let's see. Pup's getting fitted for a collar. Hold on. 9 inches would be great. The snug would be 8 7/8, so it'd be just so tight that I couldn't get it on. 9 inches would just give a tiny bit of play. There you go. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. Might have missed a couple things here. Sorry. Sure, your wife or daughter has a soft, crafty measuring tape. Yeah, we found it. I called my daughter. She has one. Lots of questions, apparently, which this private time has taken a long time. Gigi Sharebear reminds us that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Get checked. Early detection improves treatment results. So, I've got family members who have been through that, and I've got friends that we lost to it, so it's close to home. We need EDB's Don't Be Suspicious song clip. Don't be suspicious. Everyone is up to something. 10 different things going on at once, for sure. I missed a bit. You got a puppy? I want to meet him. Hold, please. I got a puppy from Paula Mac, and the puppy is made out of a Recovery Addict shirt. So it's a the puppy's name is Buffer. This is Buffer the puppy. So yes, I got a puppy. Ari needs a timeout. For what? What did I do? I've been good all morning. Can we do our own jury questions and have Ivan answer them? I like that idea. What day of trial is this? Just getting back online. Miss Gerns, we're on day 3, part 1. Day 1 was basically just openings and a couple quick witnesses. Day 2 was a full day, just starting day 3. So... too many in and out of that cell. Going to be hard for them to change my mind. Yeah, this Buffer's a quiet puppy. Yes. Let's see. Yeah. We have allergy issues, so our cat has to be an outdoor cat. Came around the other day. It's been gone. Somebody's feeding him, better food than us, and so he's gone for a little while. Buffer is house trained, yes. Let's see. I don't think Recovery Addict has ever taken a sick day. I think I did once. I think I took one in the last 3 years. Better food than rotisserie chicken? Possibly. I'm thinking private chef, cat food. When my cat comes back, when Kiki comes back and makes an appearance, he generally likes to hide in the bush and jump out and scare you. Like he goes for your ankles.
All right, Trooper, you see how this works.
Yes, sir.
All right. In your experience, what are the effects of typical behaviors of individuals high on tune?
It varies individually. Body chemistry, just like it varies when someone drinks alcohol, it varies. So some people can be fine and some people can have adverse reactions.
To the best of your recollection, were the testimonies of Mr. Wicker, Hakeem, and Addison consistent with their initial statements?
Mostly, yes.
In the videos you've seen of people epping, have you ever seen anyone injure themselves while they are epping? Anything to cause severe bleeding or bruising?
I have.
You have?
Did Mr. Cummings say what was inside that bag?
I believe he told us it was some commissary items, some food.
Who is the guy in the white shirt next door?
I believe the gentleman that was next door in the white shirt. I'd have to look at the video. I'm not 100% sure on this without looking at the video. Was inmate Sailings. Was it a white? Can I? Yeah.
You can't ask them.
Okay.
No.
Then I don't want to say for sure. Then I'm not sure without seeing the video.
Do you want to show the video?
I'm working on it.
Okay. We'll come back to this.
I'll show the video if you want.
That card, okay?
Okay.
If only so much evidence can get tested, why not present all of it to show the blood?
That's the prosecutors and what they do.
The jury's on it.
When Cummings went into the phone room, did he make a call?
Not that I'm aware
of. They're asking to see a picture of Ogletree's shirt where the blood was. Was there DNA collected off of that shirt?
Well, it was never sent for testing, so the DNA is still on the shirt.
Is there any video of the sheets getting carried out of the cell?
The only video that we could see is Mr. Addison carrying like a blue material, either a blanket or something that could. I can't speculate what's inside that.
Who is the guy in the yellow?
Who's the guy with the yellow shorts?
The yellow who
going up the stairs with Cummings.
Again, I'd have to see the video. I'm not sure.
This jury.
All right, she's gonna. Wow. You tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
I'll show it.
Let's take a look at that.
I can show it. It's him, this dude right here, white shirt.
I believe this is the only individual in yellow.
Oh.
That's the individual in the yellow. I don't know who that is right off the top of my head. I don't know.
Yellow shorts.
The guy in the white shirt in 2J2.
The guy in a white shirt in 2J2.
That's
that
this
is
guy.
one of the cellmates there in 2J2. I believe that's Mr. Channels. I believe that's how you say his last name.
And the other question was, who was the guy in the green sweatshirt standing by the door at the beginning?
Very beginning.
I wish the judge would show us this.
I don't.
I can look. Hang on. That was with Mr. Weatherington. Look, it's this guy right here. Look. That's Mr. Weatherington. That's the victim, standing with his elbow up. He stands there, and he goes into his cell. That's the victim. I found it, you guys.
Anyway, if they're referring to the gentleman that just walked past, that gentleman there, I don't know who that is.
It is seen the CO walk by the left side of the range multiple times, but not the right side. Do you know why?
She was interviewed by Trooper Schuler, and she never got an explanation why.
At 7:59, the CO walked by the cell without checking it. Was that CO questioned?
The COs that worked the block when the assault happened, and the next morning, all the COs were questioned.
Are inmates allowed to go into other inmates' cells?
That's considered out of place.
We found no wrongdoing.
They're supposed to be in their cells. They can congregate in the day room area.
Was the guy in 2J2 interviewed?
Yes, both.
Did he indicate whether he saw or heard anything?
No.
These jurors are asking if yes questions.
Is there any video of Ogletree going into the cell earlier in the day?
Earlier in the day, no.
Would you expect...
He said he didn't look at anything.
Did or would you expect more wounds on the defendant, on the defendants?
There's no way to tell. I didn't see the assault happen. There's no way to tell. Expect how many wounds to expect on him.
Did you determine what the white rope was on the victim?
At that, we did not determine if it was used for anything. We couldn't determine that it was used for anything.
Did you exclude any evidence that would help Ogletree?
No.
What's the rope? Is it like a laundry
Is there video of who told Wicker to
drawstring?
keep lookout?
No. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I can recall, no.
Did anyone check Ogletree's head for missing hair?
He was looked at by Trooper Schuler and Klantz and by LCI staff, and I didn't see any on him.
Whose cell did Cummings bring the bag out of?
I am not sure. I don't recall.
Was that person interviewed?
I believe not.
At the end of the video, we see Mr. Ogletree filling a bucket of water. Do we know what he was doing in the shower? Do we know what he was doing with that bucket of water?
We do not.
Mr. Addison said he attempted to ask for help from the CO during the lockdown at night. Did you see on the footage an officer stop and look into cell 2J3 at any point?
I only saw the range checks of them just walking by looking in.
Were the missing sheets ever discovered with the staff?
No.
Did the inmates in 2J2 report hearing anything from 2J3 during the incident?
One inmate in 2J2, Mr. Salings, reported that his cellmate told him that, but he did not tell us that.
Okay. Any questions based on the... I'm sorry.
Just if we could have just some...
Wow. They might need to correct something. He said, did you ever see Mr. Ogletree go into the cell Was that any indication he went to the cell earlier? And he said no. Earlier, he testified they didn't look at any video before 4 o'clock that afternoon. That was when they started looking at video.
I'm gonna put State's Exhibit 96 back up.
I guess we're going to go back with redirect.
Sweatshirt.
You can see it in the reflection of the glass in the back of the room.
Can you indicate again where you observed the blood?
Yeah, I can see a little bit better now. It's right here and here, we believed.
And so when Mr. Ogletree was first spoken to by Trooper Schuler and Trooper Klontz, he said, there's no way that his blood is on me anywhere.
What he told them.
There'd be no reason for any of that.
Yes.
And then when you and Sergeant Butler speak with Mr. Ogletree, and he's confronted with the fact that you know there's blood on his pants, he comes up with a story that, well, I helped him up, so that's how his blood would have gotten on me. Is that correct?
He told me that he lifted him off the floor.
So whether Mr. Wetherington's blood is on his pants or on his sweatshirt, Mr. Ogletree has now given you a story of why his blood would be on him.
Yes.
A story that was different from the day before.
Yes.
But do you know it's not true?
I want to, can you flip back here? When Addison and Cummings leave the cell after, according to Mr. Addison, they move Mr. Wetherington onto the top bunk, does Mr. Addison leave at that time with anything?
I don't think so, no.
The following morning, he leaves with something in his hand.
He does.
And that's a blue...
Possibly a blanket. I'm not sure what it is.
So I'm going to go to that.
Don't think we've seen this yet.
Have you ever been in a cell at Lebanon Correctional, a normal cell, where there's not bedding, there's not sheets on a bed?
Oh, I've been in a cell where there's not been sheets, for sure.
So, and we see in Mr. Wetherington, the pictures of Mr. Wetherington's bed, he had like a plastic covering on his.
Yeah, it was like a plastic type.
And that was not present on Mr. Addison's. And even in the pictures of Mr. Cummings' cell and Mr. Ogletree's cell, the bedding is different on each of those beds as well.
Yep.
So you can't say for sure that there were even sheets on Mr. Addison's bed prior to this incident.
I can't.
Only we saw him walk out with what you say was a blanket. So that's just a weird argument for the prosecution to make when they show us a video of him walking out with something that they can't explain as anything but a blanket.
So this is at 7:03 in the morning on December 7th.
Judge, please.
This is the first time Mr. Addison leaves his cell. And what does he have in his hand?
Some type of blue material, like either bedding or shirt or pants. I can't.
And it looks kind of large.
Yeah, probably bedding.
So consistent with a blanket as he reported?
Yes.
But you didn't find that?
Did not.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Brenner?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Trooper Creech, who's that on the other side of the range in this image right here?
Where? Can you point him out?
Who's this individual?
I believe that is Cummings, I believe.
It does appear to be Mr. Cummings, right?
Yes.
Okay. And obviously it's a little hard to tell exactly what's going on, but kind of looks like he's at least looking over at Mr. Wicker.
Or Mr. Addison, yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies. Thank you for the correction. Mr. Addison,
Yes.
my apologies.
Yep.
Okay. And you had indicated that kind of the reaction the individuals have to tune can pretty widely vary.
Can.
Right? It's fair to say any number of different substances could be tuned.
Yes.
So that could certainly play a role in why someone, one individual may have a certain reaction, and another time another individual may have a different reaction.
Everybody reacts differently, just like to any drug or alcohol.
Okay. And you indicated that you did interview the individuals in 2J2.
I did not, Trooper Caldwell.
But they were interviewed?
Yes.
Right. And they didn't indicate anything to the investigators?
Other than Mr. Saling saying that his cellmate told him that he heard things and yelling over there, but Mr. Channels did not tell us that.
So he did not tell investigators?
He did not.
Okay. Were you able to verify whether Mr. Addison had any gang affiliation?
He told us that he was a former member of the Gangster Disciples.
Okay. Were you able to determine whether Mr. Wicker had a gang affiliation?
He had told us that he was a Gangster Disciple, former.
Okay. Your Honor, I don't have any further questions.
All right. Trooper, you may step down. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a break at this time for about 15 minutes, and we'll come back at 10 o'clock. Do not discuss or allow anyone to discuss with you in your presence anything about the case. Justin.
All rise.
Here's our court watcher. Hopefully we get a call.
Did you have any questions? Are you taking off?
No, I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Anything then? Okay, we're going to try to get Mr.
Your Honor, about that, I know obviously there's a lot of moving pieces here, right? And it's very short notice. We're not going to call him. We can cancel that transport order.
Okay.
For Mr. Lapierre. Mr. Ogletree and I have been frantically discussing it back here, and we are not going to ask him to testify.
Okay.
So I apologize.
No, you're fine. That's okay. I understand. It's fluid. So we'll cancel that transport order then. Then we have 2 more witnesses from the state, correct?
Correct.
Does this defense, again, I know that there's still time, but I'm still trying to finalize these instructions, and that's the last piece of it.
I'm not anticipating calling my client at this time, Your Honor. I reserve the right to, obviously we have a couple more witnesses, but at this time I am not anticipating calling Mr. Ogletree.
So is it fair to say
that
the defense will not put on any evidence?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, very good. Then I'll see everybody back here at 10 o'clock.
Very well. I'll see you in a little bit.
Judge, do you anticipate just then, we have the 2 BCI people, we have the exhibits.
Man. 2 more witnesses, maybe, some exhibits, and we're done. Defense saying, we don't think the state proved it. We don't have anything that we need to do. The rest of our case, the rest of our weak case, they proved nothing. Your lead chief investigator just testified that the injuries that he's seen people get serious injuries like this from a bad reaction to tune. And you've got somebody who testifies and says, yeah, he was wigging out on tune, and then he either he lied about that or he lied about the fight. Well, he lied about something. Lying does not make you guilty of murder. I think there's still room for reasonable doubt. Our court watcher got caught. Busted. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What just happened?
Call from
Mr. Ayden.
Hey.
To accept,
Hang on.
press
Oops.
call from call.
Ivan, you there?
Yeah, you PTSD with this case or what? Good Lord.
A little bit. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. You know, I mean, it's some days I'm just glad be a part of society still.
Awesome.
You know? And that's today. So happy to be around. That's all. I'll give you a buzz once I log off. But
awesome.
As far as this case goes, man, this is like, and the reason I say PTSD, it's just all too familiar. And it's not even really I don't want to say it's not the fault of the COs because ultimately they take the job, but it's a larger problem. Right. The larger problem is that there isn't the pool of people to employ in the places that you need to have running these places. And so you're left with what you're left with. And so it's like if you had a bunch of bass fishermen and you were sending them out to man a submarine for some reason. That's what, asking these people to, that's what asking these people to be detectives is like. It doesn't make any sense. They're not detectives. There is no requirement for law enforcement background. There is no standard of, criminal. There is no any of that. And depending on the facility and state and whether it's, county jail or prison or federal, whatever the standard is, it is not uniform for sure, but the general consensus is none of that is required because there aren't enough people to do the job. And in fact, if you look at prisons across the board,
Ivan, you're being abducted by aliens. Sorry, the signal was getting really.
What's that?
The signal was getting bad.
Oh, anytime you're less, anytime you're understaffed, you're just going to hire less and less qualified people. So you're asking people who aren't even capable to do the job to do a job.
Yeah.
So it's not really even their fault, but.
Yeah. I hear you. I get the gist of what you're saying there. Your phone is cutting in really bad right now, so I'm not sure if there's a solar flare or aliens are abducting you or something.
It's probably taps. Who knows? I love
you, man. Talk to you soon. All right, we'll see you, man. Bye. And he gone. Sorry, Ivan. We'll get we'll try to get a better connection and connect. We might get our court watcher to call in. She's got some great stuff. Who's our court watcher? Roman ADCC is our court watcher. Let me know this morning she'd be headed into court and did sit by the family. The victim's family on the back row, and the judge called her out and said, "You got any questions for her?" She's like, "No, I'll be back." So that was her. That's really cool. She's going to call it lunch. So we'll hear from Roman ADCC at lunch. That's awesome. All right. Ivan needs a burner to call the burner. All for a few soups. It just strikes me as I don't think that obviously that our defendant here, Mr. Ogletree, would be the main person that's like, I'm going to go in and beat Mr. Weatherington up and steal his stuff. It doesn't seem like Ogletree would be like, I'm going to beat him up and you get the stuff. It's I would think it would be more like, I'm going to beat him up and I get the stuff, right? You'd think that the instigator, the lead on this, gets to claim the reward, just stealing the goods, the commissary. And us knowing that Mr. Cummings sat through a trial like this quite recently, just a couple months ago, and was acquitted, was found not guilty. It would seem like an injustice to find this guy guilty. Just why? Because he had blood on his pants? I don't know. I don't doubt that something bad happened there, but there's just so much room for, other information here. Room for doubt. Maybe the beef was way more than commissary. There was blood all over his pants. Yeah, there's a problem. There's a problem. But if they got in a fight and this happened and he later died from it, that's murder, right? That's the charge is just in that case. But if it was Epping as the last witness just testified, that these sort of injuries can happen from epping, and we have an explanation that it was epping, and then under pressure and duress, let me just point out, in custody, cuffed, in jail, them saying, we've got blood, we know it was you, and he tries to pin it on somebody else. That's a lie. It's a terrible thing to do. But he says, oh, it was a fight. Where are the injuries? How do you beat a man to death like that? And the impact, the state's basically saying it's impossible to get these sort of impacts, to get these sort of injuries on a victim's without a ton of force. You can't just fall and have this happen. Well, what hit him? Where's the injury on Mr. Ogletree? Where's the injury on Mr. Cummings? You're saying that a little scar on the back side of the pinky, on the bottom side of the hand, is proof that he beat a man half to death? I just don't see it. I think epping is a more reasonable explanation for how this happened. And yes, did he lie about it? Of course. Why would he lie about epping? Why would he lie? Well, oh no, I wasn't in there. I wasn't in there. If I say I was in there smoking, guess what? That's probably not approved. It's probably not on a list of things inmates can do today. It's not on the checklist. And so he covers for his butt. He's like, oh, it wasn't me. I wasn't there. Lies about it. I wasn't in there. I wasn't in there smoking whatever paper soaked in bug spray or whatever it was. I just think there's reasonable doubt. And I will say he's not a good guy. Okay, this guy, James Ogletree, he's made some serious mistakes and appears to still make some pretty shady decisions, some bad decisions in life. But I don't think the state has proved that he participated in the murder of this inmate. It's just, I don't see it. All right, what is epping? Epping is the term that Mr. Ogletree gave for basically a bad trip. When you do these synthetic drugs and it messes you up, right? It's you either take too much or it's the chemicals just, you're messing with things you don't know how to control, and it's you either for whatever reason, psychotic reasons that people injure themselves intentionally. We've seen horrific stories of people who mutilate themselves while they're on drugs because this idea came into their head, and they do things that just crazy, blind themselves, whatever else, just because there's like, oh, I was having a bad trip. I didn't see what I wanted to do, so I gouged my eyes out. Yeah, these things happen. This is epping. And so to get the testimony saying that could happen, that could be the reason for this. Yeah. But he's the guy in the bad chair. He must have done it. Right. Learning about epping from Ari is wild. Yeah, I'm not the expert on this, I can tell you that. Look at the judge doing his GQ pose in front of the Space Force flag and the other military flags. Is that a polka dot tie? It is. It's a polka dot tie. What a look. And the gray slacks, black belt. Gotta say, his wife dressed him well today. I happen to know that anytime the man is dressed well, it's because his wife dressed him well. At least that's the case for me. Yesterday, the judge and the stenographer complained about how warm it was in the courtroom. They did. It was quiet. I did hear that. Judge, such a poser. He's flexing. It's a judicial flex. The muscular arm of the law is what you're seeing right here. No one got help until next morning. Nobody wants to step up and say, hey, guards, you should come check this out. Nobody wants to make that call. Chemicals soaked with paper and smoked, not inhaled. Isn't smoking and inhaling basically the same thing? Unless, well, I can't get political. I did not inhale. I have zero doubt. The body language down in the day room spoke volumes for me. Seems they were plotting. Everyone was plotting. You pick any person on this video. Well, not that video. Let me go back. This is what the courtroom looks like at night. I saw the cleaner come in and clean the place last night, but let's find. Oh, this is today's video. Never mind. Let me go back to yesterday's. Okay, here we go. Any person on this video at any time looks like they're in the middle of like dropping something off at a dead drop, waiting for a spy to come in and pick it up, or waiting for payment or something. It looks like they have about every single person. I mean, pick a person and follow them. Nobody in this looks like they're just living life and doing good things. I don't know. Maybe it's just my perception, but all right. Why aren't you considering he had the sheets to wrap his hands while beating the snot out of the guy? Because then he wouldn't have had the injuries. If you pad, basically it becomes like when you have sumo wrestlers, the people that aren't sumo wrestlers wear the big inflatable costumes and wrestle. It's like no harm, no foul. The big, huge, wrapped gloves. I don't see it would cushion the impact. It would soften the blows. You wouldn't have the sort of targeted, direct impact injuries that we saw with the split lips and the cuts on the head. I don't see that, makeshift boxing gloves would do that same thing. Plus, I think there would be blood all over his clothes, all over, instead of just a couple specks. The blood on his clothes could be from trying to pick him up. 100%. Strangling and bruises on neck. Okay, true. Do we know who did it or when it happened? This is pretty morbid. What are you doing? He's cleaning the sanitizer bottle. Let me put a scenario out there. Bad tune trip, right? Thrashes around, injures himself, and is just moaning constantly. Just won't be quiet. Addison. This is just a theory. It's just a theory. I'm not saying this is what happened. Addison, his cellmate, trying to get some sleep. It's just like, would you just shut up? The guy will not shut up. And Addison's like, well, I can make you shut up. And finishes him through strangulation. He might have just been hurt. Might have just had a bad headache. And Addison does the job overnight. The fight wasn't what killed him. Then it would be Addison in that scenario. Addison was there all night. He was there all night. And then in the morning, he got rid of his sheets. A clever name says, wrapping hands in rope saved Jean-Claude Van Damme's first fist and kickboxer. Plus, he dipped his hands in glass, too. Okay. I may have watched that movie as a kid. I was just impressed that he could do the splits between two chairs. Pat says, no way, no way. I just think, what about the blood on the pants? Legally Blonde, if he did have a bad trip, like I say, bad acid trip, and he did try to move him onto the bed after he had cut himself up, could that not explain all the blood? He's on the floor, you try to pick him up, it hits your legs, flop him on the bed, you're like, whatever, man, thanks for getting us the paper or whatever it was, and that you leave.
Thank you. Please be seated. Call your next witness, please.
State will call Kristen Newland.
Roman ADCC is back in the back. Why not own it? Because he would be admitting to doing something that's illegal. The smoke in the tune.
Swear affirm the testimony of these proceedings to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can have a seat, please. Water if you need it, not to touch screen.
May I proceed?
Please.
He could have
Could
had
you
the
please
bad
state your
trip.
name, spelling your last name for the record?
It's Kristen Newland, Newland.
And where are you currently employed?
The Bureau of Criminal Investigation, also known as BCI.
In what capacity are you employed at BCI?
I'm in the DNA section as a forensic scientist.
And how long have you been a forensic scientist at BCI?
Approximately 2 years.
Can you briefly give the jury kind of your educational background, which qualifies you to be a forensic scientist at BCI?
I have a bachelor's of science in forensic investigative science and biology, and a master of science in forensic investigative science from West Virginia University.
And we heard from some of your coworkers yesterday that when evidence comes in for DNA analysis at BCI, there is a teamwork approach. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so, as it relates to the evidence that was tested in this case, what was your role in that teamwork process?
So my role is to perform the initial screening process, also known as our forensic biology portion, where I retrieve the evidence from our secured DNA vault. I take it into my custody, I open the items and examine them.
So you mentioned that it starts in a secure vault. And then you go and retrieve it. And what's the first thing you do when you retrieve evidence items?
So they all have a unique barcode. So that barcode gets scanned into my custody. It then goes straight into the laboratory where it is at my lab bench.
And you kind of take a look, make an assessment of what you have so that you are able to determine what you need to do with it.
Yeah, so I start off by looking at like the exterior packaging, what is the item description, what's the state of the evidence packaging, making sure that seals are intact and things such of that nature.
And so do you look for, you then are the one who prepares the sample that moves on to all the rest of the steps in the process, correct?
Yeah, so I open the item, I document the condition to which it's found. If it's something like in our article of clothing, I will take photographs, and then I examine for like the possible presence of like staining, and determine if anything needs to have a presumptive test done.
Okay, and so you mentioned the presumptive test and you mentioned staining. Let's say an item of clothing that you look at has a reddish-brown stain on it. Are you going to conduct a presumptive test on that stain?
Yes, I'm going to take a small portion of this stain and I'm going to direct test that small portion. So I'm not applying directly to the stain itself. It is a small separate, normally a dry swab is rubbed over the stain, and then that is what is tested.
And so if you see a reddish-brown stain, are you going to do a presumptive test for the presence of blood?
Yes.
Is there a confirmatory test for the presence of blood?
Yes, there is.
Is that often done?
Not often, no.
Why not?
Just to be able to conserve on sample. We typically use the presumptive test as an indicator of items to sample and move forward through the DNA analysis process. If for some reason a DNA profile isn't generated, then we would go back and do the confirmatory test to kind of help try and troubleshoot as to why we didn't obtain a profile.
So if you get a presumptive positive for blood, you send it through the process and they're able to obtain a DNA profile, that's pretty indicative that that stain was blood.
Typically, yes.
And if you don't get a DNA profile, you'll go back and try to confirm whether it's blood or not.
Yes.
And then when you take samples to send on through the process, how do you take those samples?
Items can either be swabbed or cuttings can be taken.
And so how do you make a determination of whether you're going to swab something or cut something?
Sometimes it depends on how intense the stain is, how big of an area it is, the substrate material. Sometimes it's easier to swab an item versus cut it, depending on how thick it is.
So typically with items of clothing,
typically we try to take cuttings.
And is that in fact what you did in this case?
I believe for the majority of the samples I did take cuttings.
And I'm going to talk to you about 3 specific pieces of evidence that you would have examined and prepared, starting with State's Exhibit 45. I'm going to have you look at this, see if you can identify it, and tell the jury how you can identify it.
Is that already open?
Yes, I believe that that's already.
So this is BCI item 10. It is labeled as being a blood card. I know that I'm the one who examined it because my date and initials of the time of examination are on the BCI barcode, as well as I know when I sealed it because my date and initials are on the seal.
So that yellow sticker on the back is the BCI sticker that gets put on?
Yes, this comes in when the item is submitted.
And then your initials are on that, and then your initials are there when you reseal it?
Yes.
Okay, could you go ahead and pull that out? So how would you have taken a sample from the blood card?
So blood cards, our standard protocol is to take a cutting of the blood card and then place it into a tube to forward on for processing.
And if you open that all the way, do you see that cutting present?
Yes.
And that's the cutting you would have done?
She's a little nervous.
Yes, it looks like I took 2 cuttings, possibly for reprocessing.
Okay. And is that in the same or substantially similar condition as to when you dealt with it at BCI?
It appears to be minus it have been open for court.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 60. And ask if you can identify that and identify that as something that you worked on.
Okay. So, as seen before, so here's the BCI barcode, my date and initials on when I opened it. Looks like I opened it along the bottom edge and also resealed it along the bottom edge with my date and initials.
Okay, and what is that item identified as?
So the exterior lists it as a blue sweatshirt.
And could you go ahead and pull that out for us? You said with clothing you try to take a cutting. Could you go ahead and show us where you're cutting it?
Sorry.
It gets better. Hang on, it gets better. There's more.
So can I stand up?
Yes, please.
This is Ogletree's hoodie, right?
So this is the sweatshirt, and my cutting was taken from that spot right there in the front.
And so why would you have decided to take it from that spot on that wall?
When looking for red brown staining and deciding what to sample, it's best to take from a high, like a very intense area of red brown staining, because we're trying to use as small of an area so that we're not consuming the sample, and we're also doing our best efforts to generate a DNA profile on the first go.
And did you do the presumptive blood test on that piece of evidence as well?
Yes.
And was it presumptive positive for blood?
I would have to confirm with my notes, but if I took a sample.
And do you then pass all of your information on to Catherine Daly, who ultimately wrote the report in this case? And would she have indicated that in her report?
Yes, she would.
Would it be helpful for you to review her report?
Yeah, I also have my notes.
Let's see if her report helps you first.
Don't bring your notes up, or else everybody gets them.
Here. Oh. Thank you. So item 6, which is the sweatshirt, it does say that it's presumptive positive for blood.
Okay. And I'm going to show you one more piece of evidence
package up.
Set on top of the microphone to do that. Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to show you now what's been marked as State's Exhibit 61. And ask you the same thing. If you're able to identify it as something you worked on, and tell the jury what it is.
So date initials on the BCI lap barcode, date and initials on the initial seal. Exterior packaging listed as white bloodstained brown pants. Back exterior. Front exterior.
And is there a cutting present there as well?
I didn't see much on the back.
And is that the cutting you would have taken to pass on through the process?
Yes. It took the cutting from the
and
front.
was that also presumptively tested for the presence of blood?
Yes, it would have been.
And what was the result of that presumptive test?
Presumptive positive for blood.
Are both those pants and the sweatshirt, aside from the bag being open, in the same or substantially similar condition as to when you worked on them at BCI?
They appear to be, yes.
All right, if you want to go ahead and wrap that back up.
The sounds of court. Judge is like,
And is it-
that needs to be emptied.
Fair to say that you did examine and prepare samples for more items in this case than just these two. Is that correct?
Yes.
You looked at a towel, a rope, a shirt. There was a shoe submitted. You would have gone through this same process with all of those items, correct?
Yes.
And then once you prepare your samples, what do you do with the samples after you've prepared them?
So once the sample is cut, it is then placed into a labeled tube. And then that tube is placed into a container with the case lab barcode so that it can be transferred into our secured evidence vault until it is forwarded on to the remainder of the processes.
I have no further questions.
Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He sounds so excited to cross.
Good morning. My name's Andrew Brenner. I represent the defendant. I just have a couple of questions for you. How long have you worked in your current position?
My current position is approximately 2 years.
Okay. And are you familiar, is there a maximum number of samples that can be submitted on a certain case?
BCI does have submission policies.
Are you aware of those policies?
For a homicide, and typically it's approximately 5 items.
5 items.
But requests can be made for additional items to be submitted that can be approved by management.
Okay. And can there be more than one submission?
Yes.
Okay, so you can submit, so let's say the rule is 5, right? So you can submit 5 items, and then a week later you can submit another 5. Is that the way that it works?
It's typically up to the discretion of management. Normally, that's a conversation that they have with the agency about what they want to have submitted and why they want to have it submitted.
Okay. And are you aware of how many submissions there were in this case?
Not off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
Okay. And your role, as you indicated, was actually taking the cutting or the sample from the larger item in order to prepare that for testing?
Yes, for further downstream processing.
Okay. And you indicated that the items that were shown to you today are substantially the same condition that they were when you did that?
They appear to be, yes.
Okay. And so were you the only individual that handled all of the samples on this case, to your knowledge?
I believe so.
Okay.
Well, at least for the initial screening, forensic biology portion, it was passed on to other analysts for the remainder of like the DNA analysis process.
Understood. No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Ms. Newland, please reduce them to writing. Do not discuss or explain its proposed question with any other member of the jury.
Every jury member will submit a card, and we're going to go into timeout right now. Count number 23, and to give you an update from our court watcher, Roman ADCC, who tells us that on the jury there are 7 men and 7 women. All are over the age of 30, or appear to be, and most appear to be over the age of 45 to 50. And she is, in fact, sitting next to the family of the victim. So she'll be calling in at lunch to give us a take. She'll be leaving at lunch. Just can watch this morning. Interesting. We've got some very smart people on this jury, some wise people on the jury, and they're asking questions now. I don't think we're going to have a lot of this one here because her scope of knowledge in this case is quite limited. It's limited to just she got the samples and she tested them. She doesn't decide which ones to test. She doesn't ask for other evidence. She doesn't, it's either yes or no. Did I get it? Yes. Did I process it? Yes. That done. And I can verify that I followed my procedures. That's it. No, you're not silenced. Erwin Beasy, welcome. Let's see. Is she our trial watcher? Yes, she is. Roman ADCC. The one the judge said, do you have any questions to?
Right, Ms. Newland, the members of the jury have just one question. I'll read it and you'll answer it. And the attorneys might have follow-up. With regard to the blood card, in your earlier testimony you said looks like resample. Was there anything further, and why?
So in the laboratory, can I refer to my notes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any objection to her referring to her notes?
No, for that purpose, no, Your Honor.
All right.
So, yes, that's what I thought. So in part of our typical laboratory protocol is when we have standards that are from individuals of the same sex, we normally cut a second one as a reprocessing to help verify that through downstream processing that there wasn't any thing like a sample switch. So that's what happened. I cut 2 samples. One is the initial, and then the other one is like the check. That makes sense.
All right. Any questions?
No.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dillon, you're excused. Thank you for your time. Call your next witness, please.
State will call Catherine Daly.
I think the rope was the drawstring from like a laundry bag or something. But why? I thought rope was one of the things that you don't get in prison. Am I right about that? It seems like that can be easily converted to a weapon.
Affirm the testimony of these proceedings is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
We're going to have a seat. Water if you need it, that's a touch.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you please state your name, spelling your last name for the record?
My name is Catherine Daly. Last name is spelled D-A-I-L-E-Y.
And where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed at the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations. It's commonly referred to as BCI.
And what capacity are you employed at BCI?
I am currently employed as a forensic scientist, and I'm in the DNA section.
How long have you been a forensic scientist at BCI?
I've been a forensic scientist since December of 2011.
And what are your job duties and responsibilities as a forensic scientist at BCI, particularly in the DNA section?
I will analyze items of evidence for the presence of DNA. I write reports based on my findings. I also participate in our peer review process, and I also testify as needed.
And can you please tell the jury about your educational background, which qualifies you to hold that position?
I have a Bachelor of Science degree. My major was in microbiology. My minor was in chemistry, and I received that degree from Ohio University in Athens, Ohio.
And what is your work experience other than working at BCI?
For a short amount of time, about a year, I worked at Laboratory Corporation of America in the microbiology department. I also did a short amount of time at the Red Cross, their blood banking lab, and then I was hired on at BCI.
So the majority of your career has been spent at BCI?
Yes.
And do you participate in continuing education and ongoing training in the field of forensic science?
Yes, I do.
Could you please tell the jury about that?
Our continuing education consists of conferences, journal readings from articles that are peer-reviewed. We also are required by the FBI's quality assurance standards for DNA analysis to continue our education by completing 8 hours of continuing education credits each year at a minimum.
And is BCI an accredited laboratory?
Yes, we are.
Can you explain to the jury what that means?
When a laboratory is accredited, that means there's an outside organization that will come in and evaluate your laboratory processes. They're going to evaluate those processes to see if you're following your own standard operating procedures, as well as, in our instance, for the DNA section, the quality assurance standards that are set forth by the FBI as well.
And was BCI accredited back in February of 2024?
Yes.
And do you undergo any proficiency testing?
Yes, we undergo proficiency testing twice a year.
And can you explain to the jury what that is?
Those are tests that are given to analysts twice a year. They come from an outside organization, and that organization is the one that has the quote-unquote answers to that test. So we will follow our laboratory procedures and submit our results to that agency, and they essentially grade our test and say whether we passed or failed based off of those results that we obtained.
And is the work you do ever checked?
Yes, all of the cases that are done in the DNA section at BCI undergo a peer review, as well as a administrative review prior to the report going out the door.
And what is the difference between a peer review and an administrative review?
A peer review is done by another qualified analyst. They're going to look at all of the data that's generated, all the notes in the case, and say whether, yes, I agree with the conclusions that you came to, or no, I did not agree with the conclusions. You have to agree on all of the conclusions before it's passed off to the next step. The administrative review is more looking at the just overall report. So they're going to look at spelling. Do you have all of the necessary components in your report? Have you reported all of your findings for all of the tests that you did? It's more of a clerical review than of the data. And once those are both passed, then that's when the report is published and the agency can see that report.
And so that peer review, that person is not rerunning all the tests. They're just looking at the data to make sure it was analyzed correctly.
That's correct, yeah.
And have you ever testified before?
Yes, I have.
Approximately how many times?
Many.
I believe this is my 97th testimony.
97.
And
but who's counting?
Where have you testified? Approximately how many different counties or courts have you testified in?
I've testified in multiple different counties. I've testified in Warren County, Franklin County, Hamilton, Athens, just to name a few.
Have you also testified in federal court?
Yes, I have.
And have you been qualified as an expert in those testimonies?
Yes, I was.
Your Honor, at this time, we respectfully request this court qualify Catherine Daly as an expert in forensic DNA analysis.
Court will recognize her as an expert in
Thank
DNA.
you. Before we get into the specifics of the testing that was done in this case, can you generally explain for the jury what is DNA?
DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a blueprint for our bodies, so it's going to tell us what color eyes we might have as well as what color hair. We get half of our DNA from our mom and half from our dad. It is unique to each individual, except for in the case of identical siblings, and it's also the same throughout our body. So if I were to take a swab from the inside of my mouth, as well as a blood sample for myself, the DNA profile obtained from both of those samples would be the same.
Steven, good to have you back.
And we've
Welcome,
heard from
my
your
friend.
coworkers that the DNA testing process at BCI is a teamwork process. And we've kind of heard from each of them separately. Can you give a brief overview of the steps of that teamwork process, how evidence travels through BCI and through the DNA process?
Yes. So initially the evidence is received to the laboratory through our evidence receiving staff. They're going to give that evidence unique item numbers as well as a unique case number, and it's going to be tracked in our laboratory information system. Those barcodes are then used to track the custody of those items throughout the laboratory. Each analyst has their own barcode as well. So it will first start in the forensic biology section. They are going to look at the items of evidence. They're going to test any bodily fluids that they might see present or collect swabbings from any pertinent areas on the items. So, for instance, if someone were smoking a cigarette butt, they would collect the sample from the paper around the cigarette butt and send that forward on for DNA analysis.
I don't think you smoke the cigarette
butt. Or they might
butt.
test any stains that they see that might be reddish brown for our presumptive test for blood, and then take a sample from that and send it forward for DNA analysis. After those samples are collected, they're stored in a secure vault, and when the next individual is ready for those samples, they will go to that secure vault and they will retrieve them. The first step in the DNA process is called extraction, where it's like a washing machine to try to get the DNA off of whatever sample was collected. So the swab, if something was swabbed, the paper if it was cut, or the fabric if it was cut. Once that DNA is isolated, it's then passed off to what we call the robot team. They're the ones that use the robots, they're fancy pipetters, to also analyze the items of evidence. And that robot team is going to be responsible for the next 3 steps. First one is called quantification. We're going to determine how much DNA was obtained from that sample. The second one is amplification, where we're going to make millions and millions of copies of certain regions of our DNA. And the third step is called electrophoresis. It's a big fancy word for taking a picture of the DNA profile. And then as a writer for this case, where I wrote the report, my job is to collect all of the data and notes generated along the way and use those to make my comparisons and write a report based off of my findings.
So was that your role in this process? Was the end the comparison of what everyone else had found?
I wrote the report in this case, as well as I extracted the samples, so the washing machine step for this case as well.
So you were step 2 and step 4?
Yes.
If we're going to break them down and number them.
Yeah.
And is that methodology generally accepted in the scientific community? That procedure that you follow?
Yes, it is.
Is it fair to say that not every lab in the country does this teamwork approach?
Yes, that's correct.
How long has BCI been doing the teamwork approach?
We've been doing some form of the team approach since I started, so at least 2011.
And I want to turn your attention to January and February of 2024. Did you, during that time period, did you have the occasion to participate in the testing and analysis of a number of items submitted for testing by the Ohio State Highway Patrol related to a homicide investigation?
Yes, I did.
And I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 62. And ask if you recognize that document.
State's Exhibit 62 is my report that I authored on February 23rd of 2024.
And does that appear to be a fair and accurate copy of that report?
Yes, it is.
Does it appear modified or altered in any way aside from the exhibit sticker being put on?
No, it does not.
Permission to publish.
Does this report list the items of evidence that were submitted?
Virginia,
Yes.
thank you very much.
All right, I want to talk for a minute about what agencies can submit. When it comes to homicide investigations, is there an initial kind of cap on what they are allowed to submit for DNA analysis?
Initially, it is usually 5 items of evidence plus any DNA standards, so known DNA standards, except for in cases where a conversation might have been had prior to submission. So between one of our DNA supervisors and the submitting agency, they can have a conversation prior to the submission to allow more items in that first round.
And so looking at what was submitted, I'm going to have you go through them in a minute, but it looks like there were maybe at least 6 evidentiary items, and then some additional things that were obtained from the coroner before we get to the standards. There are 8 items that are not standards. Does that look like it's correct?
Yes.
And so presumably the Highway Patrol had conversations with BCI and asked to submit some additional items.
That's possible. I don't remember specifically if they did or did not.
So let's walk through those items that were submitted. What is item 1?
BCI item number 1 is a towel with a stain.
And do you, in your description of the item that you put on your report, do you indicate how you receive it?
Yes. In the submitted portion of the report, there's also information as to what the outer packaging would have looked like. So in this instance, it would have been a brown paper bag.
Okay. And fair to say the majority of the evidentiary items were submitted in brown paper bags?
Yes.
All right. So item 1 is a towel with a stain.
Correct.
And where was that located?
According to the submitted information, it says located in cell 2J3.
Okay. And what is item number 2?
Item number 2 is a brown paper bag that contained a rope with a stain.
Where was that located?
In cell 2J3.
And what is item number 3?
Item number 3 is a brown paper bag with a shirt that had a stain and located in the trash.
And what is item number 4?
Item 4 is a brown paper bag containing thermal pants with a stain located in cell 2J17.
And item number 5?
Item number 5 is a brown paper bag containing a shoe with a stain located in cell 2J17.
And item number 6?
Item number 6 is a brown paper bag containing a sweatshirt with a stain located in cell 2J31.
And item number 7?
Item number 7 is a manila envelope that had oral and rectal swabs from Marquise Weatherington.
And item number 8?
Item number 8 is a manila envelope containing left fingernail scrapings, right fingernail scrapings, head hair plucked, pubic hair combed, pubic hair plucked from Marquise Weatherington.
And item number 9?
Item number 9 was a manila envelope containing a DNA standard from Jason Addison.
And item number 10?
Item 10 was a manila envelope containing a blood card from Marquise Weatherington.
And item number 11?
Item 11 was a manila envelope containing a DNA standard from Anthony Cummings.
And item number 12?
Item 12 was a manila envelope containing a DNA standard from James Ogletree.
And finally, item number 13?
Item 13 was a white envelope containing a DNA standard from Clifford Johnson.
Okay. And so we heard yesterday from Vanity Maldonado and Jennifer Akbar, and we just heard from Kristen Newland, and you participated in the extraction process. All of that data gets submitted to you at the end for a comparison of what was found. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so I want us talk about a couple of the items in particular first. Let's start with item number 4. And those are white thermal pants with a stain located in cell 2J17. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Was a DNA profile able to be developed?
Yes.
Was it sufficient to compare to the known samples submitted?
Yes, it was.
Why would something be insufficient to compare?
There's a number of reasons why a DNA profile would be insufficient. Enough DNA might not have been left behind to obtain a DNA profile. An item could have been left out and exposed to the elements. So if something is exposed to heat or water to be washed off of something, or if something is just laundered, those all might be things that would impact getting a useful DNA profile.
But you were able to compare the DNA profile that was obtained from item number 4?
Yes.
And what were the results of that comparison?
The DNA profile from the cutting of the stain that was from the right knee of the white thermals was a mixture of DNA profiles. And what that means is that there's more than one individual contributing to the DNA on that item. The major DNA profile, or the individual contributing a higher concentration of DNA to that profile, that DNA profile was consistent with Marquise Wetherington, Jason Addison, Anthony Cummings, James Ogletree, Clifford Johnson. Those individuals are all excluded as the major contributor. There's also additional DNA present that is not sufficient for comparisons to any individual. So I could have DNA standards from everyone on the earth and I still wouldn't be able to tell where that DNA came from.
So that mixture so there's a mixture, meaning there's multiple DNA profiles present. You're able to identify Marquise Wetherington as the major contributor.
That's correct.
The other known standards that were submitted are excluded from being the major contributor.
That's also correct.
But you cannot say one way or the other if they are a part of the mixture that is insufficient for comparison.
That's correct. I can't make any conclusions regarding who may or may not be contributors to the rest of the mixture.
They can't be included or excluded. There's no position.
That's correct.
Can you explain the statistical significance of the DNA match of Marquise Wetherington as the major contributor?
Well, we now know that he has blood.
Yes. So when we make an association between an evidence DNA profile and a known DNA standard that we have in the case, we will calculate a statistic to show how rare or common the evidence profile is within a population. So in this instance, the estimated frequency of occurrence of this major DNA profile from the thermal pants is rarer than 1 in 1 trillion unrelated individuals. So I would have to test a number of individuals larger than 1 trillion unrelated individuals before I would find another individual that had a DNA profile that was also consistent with the major DNA profile on the pants.
So the defendant's pants had the victim's blood. That's 100% proven.
All right, let's move on to item number 6. And that is the blue sweatshirt from cell 2J31. Is that correct?
Yes.
This is Cummings' sweatshirt, right?
And was a DNA profile able to be developed from the sample taken from that sweatshirt?
Yes.
And was it sufficient for comparison?
Yes, it was.
And what were the results of that comparison?
The DNA profile from the sweatshirt, cutting from the stain on the front exterior below the collar, was a mixture of individuals. The major DNA profile was consistent with Marquise Wetherington. Jason Addison, Anthony Cummings, James Ogletree, and Clifford Johnson are not the major contributor. And there's also additional DNA present that is not sufficient for comparison to any individual.
And what is the statistical significance of that result?
I would again have to test a number larger than 1 trillion unrelated individuals before I would find someone that had a DNA profile consistent with that of the major DNA profile from the sweatshirt.
And again, like the thermal pants, you can't say who's a part of that mixture that's insufficient for comparison. So you can't say whether the known standards are included or excluded.
That's correct.
Is it uncommon for you to find mixtures when analyzing DNA?
No, it's not uncommon, especially in situations where you have a piece of clothing. There is transfer of DNA in washing machines, and also in instances where there might be bodily fluids from another individual on someone's clothing that they might have been wearing. You can expect that there might be a mixture in that instance as well.
And I want to talk about some of these other items that were tested. There was testing done on the towel with a stain in item 1. Is that correct?
Yes.
And there were in fact 2 samples taken from that, 2 different locations on that towel. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And was that towel presumptively tested for blood?
Yes, it was.
And what was the result of that presumptive test?
The presumptive test was positive for blood.
And was there a DNA profile able to be obtained from the stain on that towel?
Yes, there was.
And whose DNA profile was obtained?
The DNA profile from the stain on the towel was consistent with Marquise Weatherington.
And all the known standards, they were excluded from that.
That's correct.
And then there was also a sample taken from the ends of that towel, correct?
That's correct.
Where someone might hold the towel, potentially?
Yes, like the short ends of a towel if you lay it out as a rectangle, the 2 short ends.
And was a DNA profile obtained from that sample?
Yes.
Was it sufficient for comparison?
It was not sufficient for comparison due to the number of contributors.
And then item number 2, which is kind of a fabric rope, fabric string. There were multiple samples taken from that item as well, correct?
That's correct.
There was a cutting taken from a stain, and then there was also swabbing again from kind of the ends. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Was the presumptive test for blood run on that sample?
Yes, it was.
And at least from the stain, was that presumptively positive for blood?
Yes, it was presumptive positive for blood.
And from that stain, was there a DNA profile present?
Yes, there was.
Who did that DNA profile belong to?
The DNA profile from the stain was consistent with Marquise Weatherington. And Jason Addison, Anthony Cummings, James Ogletree, and Clifford Johnson were excluded.
As the major, from that, yes. And then we go to the swabbing from the ends. Is there a mixture of DNA profiles found?
Yes, there is.
And is Marquise Weatherington the major contributor in that sample?
Yes.
And is that sample similar to the others, where the other known standards are not the major contributor, but the rest of the mixture is insufficient for comparison?
That's also correct, yes.
So those other known standards can be neither included or excluded?
Correct.
And then item number 3, which is the t-shirt from the trash can, was that tested for the presence of blood?
Yes, it was.
And was that presumptively positive for blood?
Yes.
And was a DNA profile obtained?
Yes.
What were the results of that DNA profile?
The DNA profile from the cutting on the stain on the t-shirt was consistent with Marquise Weatherington. And Jason Addison, Anthony Cummings, James Ogletree, and Clifford Johnson were excluded.
Now I want to talk about item 5 for a second, which is a shoe. That was located in cell 2J17. There was a swabbing from a stain on the shoe. Is that correct?
Yes.
And was that tested for the presumptive test for blood?
Yes, it was.
And what was the result of that presumptive test?
It was presumptive positive for blood.
But your report indicates that no DNA analysis was performed.
That's correct.
Are you aware of why there was no DNA analysis performed?
Yes.
Why was there no DNA analysis performed?
In order to do the DNA analysis steps on the sample from the black shoe, we would have had to consume that sample. In instances where we consume samples and it is an alleged homicide, we will reach out to the prosecutor and have a conversation as to whether they would like that testing to go forward, knowing that the sample would be consumed, or whether they would like to potentially wait on doing DNA analysis in that case. And the decision was made to not test it at that time.
So when you consume a sample, you use all of it, there's nothing able to be reused or reanalyzed later?
That's correct.
And item number 7, which were the oral and rectal swabs for Mr. Weatherington, no DNA profile foreign to Marquise Weatherington was identified, correct?
On the rectal swabs, that's correct.
And no DNA analysis was performed on the oral swabs?
That's correct.
And then in item 8, focusing mainly on item 8.1 and 8.2, are those the fingernail scrapings?
Yes.
Was a DNA profile able to be obtained?
Yes.
Was there any DNA foreign to Marquise Weatherington?
No, there was not.
Based on your I'm going to show you what's been marked. I'm going to skip back for a minute. State's Exhibit 59. And can you please tell the jury what that is?
State's Exhibit 59 is a copy of my statement of qualifications.
Is that an accurate, fair and accurate copy?
Yes.
Modified or altered in any way?
No, it was not.
So based on your education, training, and experience, and to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty, are all of the DNA comparisons you did accurate?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Cross.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Don't think he's going to have a lot for her, other than that points out the excluded. It could have been
Good morning.
anybody.
My name's Andrew Brenner. I represent the defendant. I just have a couple of questions for you here. So you indicated that it's in BCI policy that there's a set number of submissions that can be made, kind of subject to discussing with higher-ups. Is that fair to say?
Yes. At any time in the case analysis, there can be conversations had to submit more by any of the parties involved, whether it's defense attorneys, prosecutors, or the submitting law enforcement agency.
Okay. And in this case, was there an additional submission made?
May I refer to my notes?
Yes.
I have 2 submissions. One on January 24th of 24 and one on March 20th of 24.
Okay, so there were 2 submissions made?
Yes.
Okay. And did you conduct the analysis on both submissions?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Was there anything anything at all out of the ordinary with this particular case? As far as, on your end, you preparing this report, you analyzing the information, was there anything out of place?
Not that I can recall, no.
Okay. And you indicated that, in particular, the fingernail scrapings, there was no foreign DNA present there.
Yes, that's correct. No foreign DNA present to Marquise Wetherington.
Okay. Were you ever submitted, say, a loose dreadlock? A piece of hair that is unknown source?
I can tell the answer is no, because they didn't collect it.
No.
Okay. And it looks like when I look at your report that there was just one piece of clothing obtained from cell 2J17.
Yes, just the thermal pants.
Okay. There was no shirt?
Not that was submitted, no.
Okay. And not on the second submission either?
No.
Okay. Very well. And is it fair to say, when I review your report, that the only DNA that is present on any of the samples is Marquise Wetherington?
Yes, all of the DNA profiles that were sufficient for comparison are consistent with Marquise Wetherington.
Okay, so there's nobody else's DNA present on any of the samples?
There's additional DNA present on some of the samples, but I can't make any comparisons to that additional DNA in those cases.
It's kind of insufficient data.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you receive, and I don't see it, so I'm going to assume no, but did you receive any kind of bed sheets or bedding for testing?
No, I did not.
It just wasn't submitted at all?
Correct. It was not on the submission paperwork.
Okay. You did receive a towel?
Yes.
A rope or a string of some kind?
Yes.
A shirt?
Yes.
Thermal pants?
Yes.
A shoe that was not able to ultimately be tested?
Little hiccup on
It
the
could have been
internet there.
tested. It was requested that we not. But yes, we did receive a shoe.
A sweatshirt?
Yes.
Oral and rectal swabs?
Yes.
Pubic hair, head hair, fingernail scrapings from Marquise Wetherington?
That's correct.
And that is the sum total of what was submitted on your initial report?
Yes.
Other than the
samples
that were there for comparison?
Who's kicking the internet cord?
Is that kind of, in your experience, you indicated you've been there for quite some time now, is that kind of standard for this kind of case?
Yes. The agency is going to submit what they have knowledge that would be important to the case. We're given a limited synopsis, so in instances where we think something else mentioned in the synopsis might be useful, we can always reach out as well and ask. But I was not aware of any of the other items that you mentioned.
Very well. And on this second report that was submitted later on that you talked about, was there anything additional or different submitted on that second evaluation than had been submitted on the first one?
There was a shoe as well as a bag with a stain.
Okay. And similar to the first report, whose DNA showed up on the second evaluation?
May I refer to my report?
Yes.
So the left Nike tennis shoe, there were samples collected from those, but it was also not analyzed for the similar reason for the other shoe. And then the mesh bag, there was a swabbing from a stain, and that DNA profile was consistent with Clifford Johnson. Jason Addison, Marquise Weatherington, Anthony Cummings, and James Ogletree are excluded from that DNA profile.
Okay, so Mr. Ogletree's DNA is not showing up on any of these samples.
From the DNA profiles that I can make a comparison to, James Ogletree is excluded from those samples. Again, there was additional DNA present on some of the items that I can't make any comparisons to.
Very well. Could I have just a moment? Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't get his DNA on anything.
I don't have any further questions.
Any redirect?
I just have one. Where was on that second report, that second submission, you said a mesh bag and a shoe were submitted. Where were both of those items located?
Both of those were submitted as being located in cell 2J17.
That's Ogletree's.
All right. Any requests?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Ms. Daly, please reduce them to writing. Do not discuss or display any proposed question with other members of the jury.
We can't assume that his blood was in the mixtures because there was nothing suitable for testing. And basically, you've got a whole bunch of people who live really close together, who come in contact with the same things over and over, the same railings, the same handrails, the same shower stall wall, you name it. Sorry, that's a bad one. But you're going to have a lot of other people's DNA on all your stuff. With the jury questions, I think the jury is leaning towards not guilty, or at least hung. But here are the issues. For me, the big one, we don't have a time of death. The ME could not even put a timestamp on it. We're like, we don't know. I have no idea. It was hours and hours and hours of a window that could happen. We have multiple people going in and out of that room. We know that something happened. We know that somebody bled while Mr. Ogletree was in there. I don't know if I can say beyond reasonable doubt that that was the murder, that it was done, that's what happened. What if Mr. Ogletree's argument is true? The story he told about them epping and him flipping out and hitting his head against the wall and falling all over the place. Could that be true? We don't know. That they did the toxicology and said we can't test for those drugs. We didn't back then, so we wouldn't know if he was completely like out of his mind on whatever tune was available. We've got nothing. We've got this big question that can't be answered. We've got a plausible story of how this happened that we have no evidence to prove or disprove. All we have is that the defendant lied. He lied about something. We know he lied because he told different stories that didn't match up. But I'm not sure. We've got strangling and neck bruises. We don't know when those happened. We don't know how they happened. There was no DNA testing that was found there. There was no ligature marks from a rope. We have a rope. We're not sure how that plays in. We've just got a lot of pieces to a puzzle. We know he died. We just don't know who did it. Another jury of 12 people listened to all this same evidence and found Mr. Cummings not guilty. Which means they couldn't see that. You have to play that out, that they couldn't see that Mr. Ogletree was guilty either. Because if Mr. Ogletree was guilty and Mr. Cummings and him went in together to do this, Mr. Cummings should have had the same penalty, that he should have been found guilty. I think there's no question that he was murdered. And that he's a bad guy. He does bad things. He's got a rap sheet that proves that. The pants were in Ogletree's cell. They were Ogletree's pants. He says, I tried to help him onto the bed. He was bleeding all over the place. Tried to pick him up and put him on the bed. That's one of the stories he told. Yeah, there's going to be blood on me. He was banging himself around into the wall in this little tiny cell, having a bad trip on tune. Who else besides the defendant, Cummings, and Addison went into that cell? No one that we know. No one that we know. Just those 4 people.
Ms. Daly, the members of the jury have just a few questions, and I'll read them, and then the attorneys may have some follow-up for you, okay?
Okay.
Is there a percent of how much DNA belongs to Mr. Wetherington versus an unknown?
That's not something our tests are able to calculate.
Do most prosecutors decline testing if the sample is lost or consumed?
It really depends on the case, whether they allow for testing or not. It's totally up to them.
Is there anything unusual about saving the shoe?
No.
What are you going to do with it?
All right, any questions based on the jury's questions?
Very briefly, if a sample is consumed as a part of the testing, if, let's say, the defense later wanted to come and rehab that analyzed, that's not possible, correct?
That's correct. The entire sample would have been used in our DNA testing process.
No further questions.
Ayden?
Just maybe one, Your Honor. So you indicated the decision of whether or not to test something is entirely, if your agency reports back to the prosecuting attorney that, hey, running this test is going to consume this sample, the decision of whether or not to do that is entirely up to the prosecutor at that point.
No. They can decide to have a conversation on their own with the defense attorney at the time. They can have a decision later. After other things have been tested, we can always go back and decide to test that sample. The defense can request that sample be tested. Law enforcement agency can have a conversation and request that it be tested. So the sample is there to be tested. It's a conversation amongst others involved in the case to decide whether they want it tested or not.
I guess what I'm asking is, when you have that sample, right, and you report back to the prosecutor, hey, running this test is going to consume this sample, right? The decision of whether or not you guys proceed is not up to you, it's up to outside parties.
Yes, at that point, it's up to other individuals besides me.
Right. Okay. No further questions.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
Thanks.
Next witness, please.
State would briefly recall Trooper Creech.
Recall Trooper Creech. Let's put a bow on this. Wasn't expecting a recall, but we'll take it.
Trooper, you're still under oath.
Yes, sir.
Trooper Creech, we just heard testimony from Miss Daly about a mesh bag that was submitted in March for testing that returned with the DNA of Clifford Johnson.
Yes.
And that mesh bag was located in cell 2J17.
It was.
Can you please tell the jury about that mesh bag?
The mesh bag was located by Trooper Klontz and Trooper Schuler. It had what appeared to be blood stains on it, and it looked similar to the bag that Mr. Cummings was exiting Mr. Wetherington's cell with. And that bag ultimately tested positive for Mr. Clifford Johnson's DNA that was on it, which was Mr. Ogletree's cellmate.
So 2J17 is Mr. Ogletree's cell.
Yes.
So you located
that was
a commissary
info.
bag
Yes.
in Mr. Ogletree's cell that had what appeared to be blood on it.
Yes.
You submitted that, and that blood was, or that stain was positive for DNA from Clifford Johnson.
Yes.
Clifford Johnson is Mr. Ogletree's cellmate.
He was at the time.
So, what? How does that help? The bag that was found in Mr. Ogletree's...
Mr. Johnson, aside from being Mr. Ogletree's cellmate, was not involved in your investigation in any other way, correct?
No, he was interviewed but not involved in...
And he never went near Mr. Wetherington's cell?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
After that returned with Mr. Johnson's DNA, you had no reason to believe that was the commissary bag involved?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Any recross?
Just very briefly, Your Honor. Trooper Creech, is that, so that bag right, you said was similar to the bag that...
It looked like it was similar to the one in the video.
So you said it's a commissary bag?
Yes.
Is that like a standard issue kind of thing?
I believe so, yeah.
Right, so
a lot of the inmates there have that type of bag.
Okay, like that kind of...
Everybody
like
has
like a white mesh bag.
Right.
And that's kind of just...
Just an ordinary to find one with blood on it.
Okay, all right. So...
You tested one with blood on it.
Necessarily significant
and it doesn't
about
have
the fact that an inmate at Lebanon CI has a bag of similar design.
No, what brought our attention was the blood on the bag.
Okay, and again, that came back for Clifford Johnson.
Yes.
No further questions, John.
Nothing additional.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for
Johnson's
Trooper
blood.
Creech regarding these questions, please reduce them to writing. Do not discuss or display any proposed question with other members of the board.
You guys ready for a little private time? Here we go. That was, I don't know why they even brought that up. That clouded the water even more. The bag with blood in it in the defendant's cell. The bag that looked like the bag that Mr. Cummings took out of the victim's cell, because everybody has the same bag. It had blood on it, so we tested it, and we got a match for the cellmate of the defendant, who is not connected in any way to this. It shows the bag was the defendant's, but the blood was his cellmate's. It was Clifford Johnson. They tested the blood. Comes back as Clifford Johnson. It's the wrong person's blood. The bag should be just completely discarded. Is it possible that the defendant killed this guy? Yes. Is it possible that Mr. Cummings did it? Yes. Is it possible that there was a bad epping experience that caused a lot of blood loss on the part of Mr. Weatherington? Yes. Is it possible that Mr. Weatherington strangled himself? No. Someone strangled him. But I don't know if that was Mr. Cummings, Mr. Ogletree, or Mr. Addison. And if it was Addison, it happened without Mr. Ogletree there. And that, for me, is reasonable doubt. A lot of the clothes in prison, I think in this prison, have individuals' names on it. Let's see. I realize just because the victim was a bad guy, does that make it okay? No. Nope. I'm saying the bad guy is the defendant. The bad guys are defendant. Mr. Ogletree is the bad guy. He's done some bad stuff. And he's clearly lied to investigators. This is bad. This is bad. That's the only person I've said is bad in this case is Mr. Ogletree. But just the fact that Mr. Weatherington died and Mr. Ogletree was in there and had blood on him, I still... There are no injuries on his hands.
All right, Trooper, just a couple questions. Were videos reviewed past December 8th to see what happened to the bag from cell J31?
No.
So this bag was not the same bag Cummings left with. It was just found in the cell.
It was just so happened to find another bag that was covered in blood. It was not. We don't believe it's the same bag.
All right. Any questions based on the jury's questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr.
No, Your Honor.
All right, Trooper, you may step down. Is that it?
You sure made it
All right,
sound like
ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're actually going to break for lunch. I know it's early. It's you guys figured out there was a clock up there, right? I know it's early, but I've got some things I have to go over with the attorneys, so I'm going to let you take
a judgment of acquittal.
Hour. When we come back at 12:30, a little bit more than an hour. I have some things that Justin's working on right now to try to clean up things for my 1 o'clock docket, but we're going to come back and we're going to push through when you get back from lunch. So let's say it's 11:12 right now. Let's say come back at 12:30. Is that enough time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll come back at 12:30 then and restart, okay?
All rise.
Watch the family leaves here and see if Roman ADCC, she'll be calling in at lunch.
All right, you can be seated. All right, so well, let's go through this list of exhibits then, and I have the first four are all photographs, all being offered 1 through 4.
Yes.
Any objection to 1 through 4?
No, Your Honor.
All right, those will all be admitted.
Adamant, no. No objection.
Exhibit number 5 is the body camera of Jimmy Potts video. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
6 is the video of Trooper Creech walking through the cell. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibits 7 through 32 are scenes of the cell, photographs of the cell. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibits 33 through 40 are photos from the infirmary. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibits 41 to 44 are photos of the physical evidence. Any objection?
No.
45 is the blood card from Weatherington. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
46 are the prison videos. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
47 and 48 were not offered. Is that correct? Not identified?
Correct.
Your Honor.
49 through 51 are Ogletree's photos of Ogletree's body and hands. Any objection?
Your Honor, the only
just
one that
51.
Just 51 was the only one that was.
Okay, just 51 in
Your Honor,
there.
just for clarification's sake, there was a picture of Cummins shown during the trial.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay.
It's coming.
All right, very well.
So 51, no objection.
No, Your Honor.
52 through 54 are the evidence recovery photos from the Cummings cell. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
55 through 58 are Clunt's recovery photos from the Ogletree cell. Any objection?
No objection.
59 is Miss Daly's CV. Any objection?
No.
60 is the physical sweatshirt from Cummings. Any objection?
No objection.
61 is the physical thermal pants from Ogletree. Any objection?
No objection.
62 is Miss Daly's DNA report. Any objection?
No objection.
63 is is it Dr. Brown? Is she a doctor? Oh. Dr. Brown's curriculum vitae.
No objection, Your Honor.
64 is the autopsy report.
No.
No objection?
No.
No objection.
No.
65 through 85 are the autopsy photos. Any objection?
No objection.
I have exhibit 86 as the Addison phone call. Any objection?
There's just the one call, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, no objection to that one call, Your Honor.
All right, so 87 and 88 are out. 89 is the first Ogletree interview. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
90 is the second Ogletree interview.
No objection.
91 is not identified, correct?
Correct.
That is correct.
92 and 93, make sure those are the certified copies of Mr. Ogletree's prior convictions. They are court's eyes only, correct? Make sure that they are not in the stack of exhibits. Correct?
Yes, correct, Your Honor.
94 and 95 are photos of palms and hands of Mr. Cummings. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibits 96 to 105 are additional photos identified by Trooper Creech. Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then is that anything else? Did I miss anything?
So I think Andrew's talking about the picture of Mr. Cummings that was shown to Jason Addison.
Correct.
And that's dates exhibit 47.
There we go. Okay. I just want to make sure that was
Okay,
in, Your
so
Honor.
you want 47 in there?
Yes.
Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so 47 only will be admitted. Okay. And then after that, the state rests?
Yes, Your Honor.
They rest.
Is there a discussion about 47?
There's our court
The only thing
watcher.
I'm thinking, Your Honor, no one identified who this individual was in terms of a name.
Well,
this was shown to the witness.
He said that's the guy, but he does not know Anthony Cummings' name.
I'm going to allow it. I think there's enough in there that it's sufficient.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Brenner, you wish to be heard?
Your Honor, we would make a Rule 29 motion.
Submit?
Yes.
State?
Your Honor, we would submit as well.
All right, that'll be overruled. Does the defense wish to present any evidence other than defense
JOA.
exhibits A and B, which were identified?
Can I have just one moment, Your
Yes,
Honor?
sir.
Yeah, we will just submit Defense Exhibit A and B, Your Honor.
All right, any objection to A and B?
No, they're contained within the scene photographs.
I understand, but they were identified separately, so I'm going to allow them.
Okay.
Hello. All right, anything else then? So we are good then for 45 minutes each side for a closing, correct?
Correct.
Now, just so that we're clear, Mr. Knippen, the 45 minutes is both you and Ms. Nicholson combined. It's not 45 and 45. 45
Yes, sir.
total, and you'll be less than 45.
I will be less than 45, Your Honor.
All right, so then when we come back at 12, what did I say? 12:30, we'll do closing statements, and then we'll go right into the instructions of law. Here are copies for each of the attorneys of the jury instructions.
Don't go yet. Our court
And
watcher
we're good
is
to
going
go,
to call
right?
in just a minute.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you all.
Safe to leave this in.
Your Honor, are we okay to leave stuff here, or should my client take?
Nobody's going to steal anything. You're in court. We're on camera 24/7 in this courtroom. No one's taking a thing. Closing arguments are going to be fire. They are. Someone dropped a jar of M&Ms. Last time I had somebody do that to me, I was being fitted for a suit. A very different experience. First try. Do you see that? Prosecutor needs to have a strong closing argument. He does. I think the initial argument from the prosecutor just didn't do it right. I think it set the jury off, honestly. Like it set the wrong tone with the jury. Because as evidence came in, specifically the little things like the whole wearing pants or not, as that came in, we had questions. The jury had questions. They're like, wait, why are you telling us this? And they started questioning everything that was happening. Okay, as Mr. Ogletree gets led out and is taken back to the holding room, we expect to get a phone call in just a few minutes from our court watcher, Roman ADCC, who has been there in court watching and listening, and tells us that the jury is split. 7 men, 7 women, obviously 14. That includes the 2 alternates. And that they are mostly seasoned. Not a lot of younger people there. Everyone over 30, most over 45 to 50. So going to be quite telling to hear about what's their reaction to some of this. Don't think the state proved beyond a reasonable doubt. I will see if their closing argument is persuasive. Felicia, I also feel they left room. I know something bad happened, but with the testimony from their own investigator saying that the injuries that we saw here are consistent with what people can do to themselves when epping, no time of death, and Mr. Addison being involved somehow, getting rid of his sheets, the strangling, I don't know when the strangling happened. The strangling was probably the cause of death. The strangling probably happened last. And I just don't know if it was after he got beat up by Addison or by these guys. I don't know. And it's terrible that the idea that somebody gets killed and no one goes to jail for it. Right? Or, well, they're already in jail, but there's no justice for the family. But unfortunately, some cases just there isn't proof, and I think this is probably on the prosecution or the investigation on this case. You controlled, as Ivan said, you controlled the crime scene and the suspects as well as the victim. Everything was in the state's control when this happened, and they just didn't get the evidence. I mean, the hair would have been telling. Why? Because possibly possibly Mr. Wetherington fought back. Whose hair was being pulled? Was it Addison's? If it's Addison's hair on the ground, wow, that paints a different picture, right? Could be the victim's hair on the ground. I don't know. Dude isn't putting that security belt on right. Well, this defendant seems to be fairly low risk as far as the bailiffs are concerned. Just one person handling it. Addison phone call to girlfriend at 8 p.m. He was dead. I know Addison testified that he wasn't, but he doesn't know how to do the pulse. I think that phone call was a cover. The girlfriend was saying one thing and Addison was saying something completely different on that call. Vivian says, am I the only person who has no doubt that he's guilty? No, there might be some people on the jury who feel the same way, and that's perfectly okay. The only way for the cellie to get out of Gangster Disciples was to take care of this. We have an approximation of death because of rigor, but what was it? How many hours? We think this happened, 7 o'clock? And he wasn't found till after breakfast? Three to 7 hours? I have doubt, but it's not reasonable, says Legally Blonde. They were hoping that we get some text here, or a call here in just a second. Let's see. I think he's guilty, but not sure if the state proved it, says Karen. Person find the defense innocent, so I'm not guilty. So his roommate slept all night with a dead man in the cell. That's the allegation. Many knew something was going on. The inmates gave that away. All right, here we go.
Call from Roman ADCC.
Roman ADCC, welcome.
Oh my
Watcher.
goodness.
How are you doing?
I got to go back and talk to the judge. He thought I had to tell one guy, because I was the only person in there.
Right.
And they're like, what are you in here for? And I was like, oh, I'm just observing. I'm a paralegal student. So then he brings out the judge, Judge Teep, who introduces himself and says, great to have you. This is what's going on. And then afterwards, he points at the end when he's like, come here, wait a second. And he's like, come on back. And I got to ask him about who decides on jury questions.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And he said, he said that it's the judges that decide, and he thinks it's a great idea. He had a lot of pushback, but he's always thought it was great. So
that is really, really cool. You got to, that's being the only watcher. The judge is like, hey, come on back. Let me show you the ropes.
Yeah.
And
he gave me his secretary's card and said, come back anytime.
That is awesome.
We could do some pre-trial stuff. And I'm like, oh gosh. But it was great. I was sitting next to the family. His family was really nice. The prosecutor, female, she's sick and barely making it. She said she wasn't sure if she would make it today, but she had to. She's going to go to urgent care afterwards.
Oh my goodness. It didn't show. She's doing a great job.
I know. She does a great job.
You got to sit there firsthand and hear some of these jury questions, which have been amazing. Any indication from the judge that, like, wow, this is different? These questions are different than normal?
No, he makes it sound like that pretty common since he's been doing it. But he's like, sometimes it just gives us a great view of where they're, like, it'll help redirect the attorneys, and he really appreciates that. And I said, there are some really good ones. I said, it kind of gets you an idea where their head's at. He's like, oh, yeah, that's what we like to know. Sometimes we can't ask them, we can't ask those questions, but it's good to know where their heads are at.
Yeah.
What other things do you want to know? I could just go on and on.
We couldn't see the jury, obviously. You told us there were 7 men, 7 women. All over the age 30, most over 45 to 50 in that range.
Yeah.
What was the reaction to some of this? Are we seeing like nods and shaking the heads, or is it pretty much just stoic?
Basically pretty sitting there. Yeah, just sitting there. Couple yawns, but it's really quiet in there.
Wow.
But there's a couple, I want to say, if I'm looking at the back of her notebook, it's juror 1, 2, 7, 11. Like, these are the ones that ask the most questions. And it's just interesting. The ones, they'll have 2 cards. So, I mean, and some of them just hand up blanks.
Yeah.
And those are usually seems to be the same people. But there's a couple that just always ask a lot of questions. And it's male and female. So I can't just nail it down to 1 or 2.
Legally Blonde wishes she was there with you. Obviously, she's local as well to the courthouse, and missed out. But you got a great experience, and wow, what a nice judge to.
Yeah, right. I kind of felt bad. I was like, oh man, I wish I could come back and hang out.
That is really
I'm just a nurse.
Yeah.
I only know legal from you.
Yeah. Well, that is really, really cool that you got that experience, and thank you very much for calling and keeping us updated. Head back anytime you can. That would be awesome.
Definitely. When there comes up another one, I will definitely head back. I just had this time open. I'm like, maybe I should head down today. There's only like 35 minutes from my house, so not too bad.
That is really cool. Roman ADCC, thank you so much. Thanks for being our court watcher today. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that is just really neat. I thought that was awesome. And yes, we did get to see her on camera. She'll get to see herself afterwards. Like, yep, that was me. So she's a student of the law, as we all are. I don't think she lied to the judge, no, because we're all learning about the law. Just some of us may or may not be enrolled in a law school to do it. That is really neat. All right, we're going to go to lunch. We have 45 minutes before we come back. We're going to come back. It's 11:30 right now. We're going to come back at 1:15. We already have a portal set up, and we will transfer over to it to get this afternoon, which will be closings. I think the closings are going to be fire. I think the state really needs to hit a home run here, right? They've got indications from the jury that the jury just has questions still, right? They're not at a point they're at a point in the case where the jury should have this all wrapped up in a nice bow sitting on their laps, and I don't think the jury is there. The state has some work to do. Defense has some opportunities to emphasize areas of doubt. I think both of them have to bring their A game to really just sort of solidify an opinion in the minds of the jurors. So the student of the law didn't promote RI when she spoke to the judge. I asked her not to, Rita. I actually ask everyone who goes to court not to talk about the channel if we can. A lot of people don't understand what we do, and it sometimes, I'm not trying to interject myself in court in any way. I don't want judges to be watching the channel. I don't want, during their courts. We love that you go and watch. Just observe. That's all we ask. All right, we're coming back at 12:15. Sorry, 12:15. Sorry. Everyone's like, why are you so late? Yeah, we'll come back at 12:15, which gives us 45 minutes for lunch. And we'll turn that off a little bit so the buzzing goes away. Get rid of this as well. Get ready for our closing logo. There we go. Get that upset. All right. 45 minutes. Ready, set, go. Go to lunch. Grab something yummy and enjoy it. And then come back. Get ready for closings. Can I talk to you about my friend, the little man in the corner? No. Don't do that. Just survived my first day on the job. Forgot how exhausting working is. Prefer to just be with you. I'm glad you like it. Hard work. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better. And please stay safe till we go live again at 1:15. That's 43 minutes from right now. 42 minutes roughly. We'll be back shortly with all that fun closings to wrap this case up, and probably a quick verdict, I'm guessing. A quick verdict. Just thinking. All right, got my 3-mile walk-in. That is awesome. I drank 3 waters. Does that count? Yeah, I'm ready for lunch. In Southeast Ohio, Grandma 6, welcome. We're going to watch Simpson today. Possibly if we go to Verdict. Yes. If we go to Verdict Watch, we'll watch that during the Verdict Watch for sure. I've got it queued up. Are we portaling? We are portaling. I'll transfer you over right now. At least as soon as this is over. Let me just make sure the portal's in place. It's been a great morning. For those that missed it, go back and watch the Farog. We found Farog last night. It was late last night. You missed the live stream if you haven't heard about it. But he's in custody. We'll be watching him tomorrow as well. Possibly for sentencing for the trial that he just skipped out on 22 months ago. You guys have a great lunch. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. You're my new best friend.